GPTV presents the 2003 GHSA Football Semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.
Live from the Georgia Dome, it's the semifinals of the 5A division featuring the Wildcats of Camden County and the Cougars of Newnan High School. Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the Georgia Dome alongside Atlanta Falcon, former Atlanta Falcon, Gerald Riggs, Charles Ward with the play-by-play story for this 5A matchup. Gerald, let's start out by talking about the Wildcats of Camden County. That wing T offense going to have a big challenge tonight.
Yes, that wing T will have a big challenge, but you know what? The guy who they're going to need to put the ball in the hands of is their quarterback. He's the man who runs the whole show, and that's Emmanuel Bacon. As you see his stats here, you know, guys has only 12 TDs for the year, 52 completions, whatever, but this guy here is the man that makes the team go.
You take a look at his passing on the season and the career, 32 passing touchdowns and over 2,300 yards this year. On the other side, or the defensive side for the Wildcats, Jock Roman.
And he is the guy, too, on the defense that you're going to have to reckon with. Tough player, very, very stingy defense. These guys here don't give up many points at all. Look for these guys to make a lot of things happen.
Coach Jeff Herron, head coach of the Wildcats, we had a chance to catch up with him to get his thoughts about the game plan.
Well, offensively, we try to run the ball every week, and we're a wing T offense, and we want to control the ball, control the clock, and take our shots in the passing game as we get them. We've done that a little more this year because of our quarterback, and Emmanuel Bacon is playing very well for us, and it gives us some opportunities that maybe we haven't had in the past. But we're trying to keep Newnan off the field as much as we can because they've got such an explosive offense. And defensively, we don't want to give up a big play. Our team defense is built around speed, and we try to run to the football and prevent them from getting the big play and try to make them drive the ball on us.
The contrast for the Wildcats, for the Cougars of Newnan High School, they throw the football an awful lot. It's going to be a challenge for them against that defense that shut out 9 teams in the course of the season. Newnan going against the Wildcats.
And that's right. Pass is pass. That's all they like to do. They throw the ball up and down the field. They have a quarterback right now that, he's holding a whole bunch of records. You can see that's Tyler Horn. As you see on the season, over 2,000 yards, throwing 22 TDs. This guy here, he has an arm, so watch for him to make a lot of things happen too.
Horn will be going up top to Goodman. This guy on your screen right now, the wide out for the Cougars. You take a look at Goodman's performance on the season.
7 TDs, and I tell you what, look at that 14-yard average on the catch with over 600 yards for the season. They got a very, very fine passing game.
That's what we have on tap for you from the Georgia Dome. It's the Wildcats versus the Cougars. Kickoff coming up. getting set to start the 5A final matchup between the Wildcats and the Cougars. Before we do, let's go downfield side to John Nelson. Nelly.
Thank you, Charles. This is the position you will see every Camden County defender in when they snap the football when the other team, Newnan, is on offense. And you will see a trick offense that you haven't seen. It's a 3-5-3. 3 down linemen, what amounts to 5 linebackers and 3 in the secondary. Those other 2 linebackers on the outside, they're called ponies. When I grew up, they called them rovers. So what that will do is put either 8 men in the box when they're running the football, if Newnan decides to do that, drop them back into coverage for 5 DBs, which you'll probably see all day long, a nickel package. Back upstairs to Charles and Gerald.
Thank you, Nelly. As we get set to start here from the Georgia Dome, semifinals. Stiegel will stand deep for the Cougars to receive the football. Anthony Pages will kick it for the Wildcats. Wildcats made an appearance in the semifinals last year, hoping to win this time to advance to the finals. Pages getting set to get us going. Kicked by Pages high and short, and bounces out of bounds near the 16-yard line. So Pages trying to keep it away from Stiegel. As you take a look at Tyler Horn, quarterback for the Cougars, his season performance, 191 completions, over 2,600 yards, 22 touchdowns. And Horn with a couple of records at Newnan High School for that performance in terms of the amount.
We have a free kick infraction on a kicking team. The offense elects to take the ball by rule, 35-yard line, first down.
Those 191 completions by Horn, a school record. So the Cougars from their own 35 after the assessment on the kick. In the shotgun, looking left, fires out in the flats, overthrown. Intended for Stiegel, his primary target. And the first aerial by the Cougars goes incomplete as we take a look at the offensive line for the Cougars. Ballantyne, Massengale up front, so is Veal and Render, and Gray is the center. Running backs, King, Arnold, Stiegel the wideout, Goodman the other, and Keeble your tight end for the Cougars of Newnan High School, 12-1. As you take a look at the replay.
This is sending a message right away that they are going to be physical. They're coming out the quarterback right away. That's a way to come out and start the game for the defense.
Horn tries the right side this time. Pass complete to Stiegel, but he caught it and was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Good coverage at the corner by the Wildcat secondary. Stopped by Patterson. And now we take a look at the Camden County defense. Garza and Booth the ends. The nose tackle is Myers. They have that 3 set as Nelson talked about. House, Johnson, and Roman, the linebacking crew for the Wildcats. Patterson and Campbell, the pony backs. Cornerbacks are Speed, Bacon, and your safety, DJ Jones. Third down. And 11 for the Cougars. First possession of this semifinal football game. Horn looking upfield. Right side now, rolls slightly, got a pass upfield, incomplete near the 42.
And that, again, was a play that they forced the quarterback out, get him to come down the sideline and try to throw a pass that he had to try to squeeze it in, but couldn't quite get it there. Very, very stingy defense here on Camden County. They on the year, only allowed 30 points during the season. That is phenomenal.
Chris Wall will punt it away for the Cougars. They go 3 and out. All 3 plays intended for Stiegel. Bacon back deep, back pedals, catches it over the shoulder and falls down near the 24. And that's where the Wildcats come in offense.
I think that wind up there was kind of controlling the ball a little bit for him. Looked like he had a tough time. We're in the dome, guys. The weather's nice in here.
Well, you hear the term domeitis. We heard it thrown around a good bit today. They're looking like up into that ceiling, maybe something that they're not quite used to. Take a look at Bacon from the back. He's the quarterback for the Wildcats of Camden County. That wing T offense just so potent for Coach Jeff Herron. As you take a look at Bacon's season performance, 52 of 95, over 800 yards, throwing 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He also packs a punch in terms of running the football. On the ground they come, right side, it's Speed with the football. Speed pass at 25 up near the 27-yard line.
They're going to get a whole bunch of that tonight. The Camden County guys, they run that wing T to perfection. But you know what? These kids here over at Newnan, they're used to seeing it. You know, some teams don't play it very well. Some come out and they're kind of awestruck because of all the stuff that's going on. You got to learn to stay at home, stay disciplined, and you can pretty much shut down a wing T. But a team that is used to it, they're going to give them some trouble later on.
Second down play. They try it left side this trip with the football is Campbell. Crunching hit down near the 31-yard line. Campbell about 2, perhaps 3 yards shy of the first down marker. Mitchell made the stop for the Cougars. As you take a look at the starting lineup for Camden County on offense, tackles Farrell and Harden, Spatcher and Thornhill your guards, and Blake is the center for the Wildcats. Speed's a halfback, Maxwell fullback, Campbell's a halfback, and Jones is split in, Barnaby the tight end. Third down, rolling right side is Bacon, fires out in the flats, pass incomplete. Intended for Speed, circling out of the backfield. So the Wildcats take their turn at going 3 and out.
Looks like it's going to be one of those head knocker games today that, you know, with teams going 3 and out. I'll tell you what, the defenses love to see that earlier on because then it kind of gives them in a position of what they're going to have to do. I don't know if these coaches are scripting their plays or whatever, but if they do, 3 and out is something they don't want to see on either side of the ball.
Emmanuel Bacon also does the punting for the Wildcats. Stiegel stands deep for the Cougars. Bacon with the kick. It's a short one. Bounces near the 38. Stiegel picks it up on the run, left side to the 36 and sling him out of bounds. And here come the Cougar offense again. DJ Jones on the stop for Camden County.
Well, it seems like all the stars are certainly stepping up and making plays early. You know, sometimes you may not hear of some of these guys for a while, but everybody seems like that we get all the immediate information on. They were already factored in before the game hardly started.
Absolutely.
So, look for a big dose of some of those stars tonight.
Cougars with their first trip to the Georgia Dome. A semifinal matchup. First playoff appearance for the Cougars in 4 years.
And you were saying about the dome struck or whatever you call it, but you know their coach has already talked to them about that because you know coming in here, and I'll let the referee do his thing here first.
Don't know if he's quite ready to do it.
Well, I gave him an opportunity, all right.
You asked, right?
I at least gave him a chance, all right. But you know the coach didn't want these guys to come in here and let the whole aura of the dome, you know, the being inside.
Take a look at the refereeing core for today's ball game. As you take a look at him talking to Coach Herron. Dean Stewart, the referee, umpires Luther Walker, linesman Bobby Adams, David Hudson, the line judge, Bobby Jackson, the back judge, and Ron Griffith, the field judge. Atlanta Area Officials Association is where these guys are from as we get the call here. Still no call.
I'm giving him every opportunity in the world so before I say anything else.
And we wait.
Well, guess nothing.
Looks like there'll be no call. Yeah. We'll get set to play some football. 9:38 remaining in this first quarter. Wildcats and the Cougars. So take a look at Horn. Horn on the ground. It's King with the football right side. King fights ahead for perhaps 2 for the Cougars.
And again, you see just a defense that's going to be tough all day long to run against. These guys, as I indicated earlier, are very, very stingy on defense.
Take a look at King's performance on the season. Over 700 yards on the ground. Nice average there, though, Gerald. 5 yards plus on the ground.
You'd like to have an average like that. I'd like to have an average like that when I was playing, too. But it's nice to have over a 5-yard average.
Second down and 9 for the Cougars now. Horn in the shotgun. Looking left. Fires immediately upfield. Catch made on the turn by Gerard Brown. Brown with a flag coming in after the play inside of Wildcat territory near the 45.
You know what? You can't have those things happen on the defense. Yeah, you make a play, you get the tackle, but man, you got to lay off of that face mask. Cost you a bunch of yards down here.
And this time we'll see if we get the call. The referee, Dean Stewart, indicating the face mask as you picked it up, Gerald.
Quite obvious. I don't know why he doesn't want to talk to us. Why don't he just tell people that he keeps giving these signals? I'm waiting for him to talk to us. You know, that's what the official's supposed to do too, right? Maybe he'll do it after when he comes back. But yeah, an obvious face mask out there.
Robert Herring, head coach of the Cougars, 5th year at Noonan. Career coaching, 59 wins to 70 losses. 78% winning percentage.
I don't think there's a coach in Georgia that has a winning percentage under 50%.
And his opposition for tonight, Jeff Herring, head coach of the Wildcats. Jeff in his 4th year at Camden County. And he's putting up some good numbers as a coach. Horn in the pocket now, going downfield, got some separation in the end zone, touchdown! Stiegel went up and grabbed it for the touchdown.
You know, when you get back there as a defensive player, you have got to go out and go after that ball. You cannot let that receiver get behind you at the last second. In this case, it turned into a touchdown. Boy, I tell you what, that ball seemed to hang up there for a while, and just long enough for him to clear the defensive back and get behind him and get the touchdown. Great play.
Stiegel with the grab. Hal Sherman on now to try the point after. So the Cougars strike first in this semifinal matchup. Sherman with the kick makes it a 7-0 lead for the Cougars of Newnan over the Wildcats.
You know, folks felt that Newnan was not even supposed to be. They didn't even win their region, but look at this. He comes back with the play. As you see the receiver, he's just getting behind the guy. The defensive back, he's got to turn and run a little bit. Okay, the ball is just hanging up there. He's got to turn and run and get back. But instead, he kind of watched the ball. And maybe, again, he misjudged it because of the ceiling or whatever it was. But, you know, he miscalculated, and they end up getting a touchdown. Cost them early. That's a big, big play for them earlier on in the game.
Speed was on the coverage for the Wildcats. But Stiegel able to get behind. And the Cougars able to go ahead as a result. 3-play drive, 48 yards, just a minute, 3 seconds. Stiegel with the 31-yard touchdown grab from Tyler Horn, and that bodes well for the Cougars. One of the concerns would be whether they could counteract that 3-3-3 defense of the Wildcats, if you will, with their passing attack. They do it on that drive.
We'll call it that junk defense. That's what our buddies have indicated. That's what they call it, the junk defense, because of all the defensive backs and 5 and 6 and almost 8 defensive backs. I think even family come in to cover some guys sometimes.
Sherman will kick it for the Cougars. Backpedaling in the end zone is Patterson, and the Wildcats will have to start this drive from their own 20. So the Cougars out of Newnan, 12-1 coming into tonight's ball game. Strike first. The only loss of the season was to Lovejoy. As we take a look at Camden County, their second trip to the Georgia Dome, made it to the semifinals last year in an excellent ball game.
Great game last year. Yeah.
Lost it to Brookwood, the Broncos.
You look at Coach Aaron's record, and you know those 6 losses that he has, they've all come in the playoffs. You know, and not in the regular season. 3 straight, undefeated seasons, but his losses come in the playoffs.
Bacon behind center now for the Wildcats. They trail it. On the ground he goes. Right side with the football is Maxwell. Maxwell working it near the 30-yard line. And marking down near the 29.
And he's the man right there. He's the guy that makes that wing T run. When he moves, they move. So I'll tell you what, if you're going to get a whole bunch of him today.
Maxwell on the season, 936 yards. Another excellent average per carry, over 8 for Maxwell with 15 touchdowns.
That's kind of closer to my average right there.
Yeah, right. 2nd and 2 on the ground. It's Maxwell again with the football. It looks like it's enough for the Wildcat first down. Correction, it was Brandon West, the reserve running back for the Wildcats, with a carry and first down run. They go misdirection right side this trip, Gerald.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to find some kind of way to penetrate that defensive line, and you know, with the wing T, they can go at it from either side with the running backs. If you have backs that can hit the hole quick and can turn up the field well, then you can have a very, very effective offense the entire night.
1st and 10 after the run. Right side is Maxwell with the football. And a stop made by big Ernest Mitchell.
This is going to be a game of, you know, the defensive will, you know, because you have 2 very good defenses here. One has, you know, everybody talked about Camden County and the teams that they played against throughout the season in their region, and it's kind of a little weak or whatever, watered down, but, you know, it doesn't make a difference. You know, if you have a team that's you know, when you're up there 13-0, you're 13-0, okay? I don't care who you play against.
2nd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Misdirection, they come once again with the football. It's Speed. Speed breaks one tackle, working it to the left side now, down near the 44-yard line. Enough, it appears, for the Wildcat first down.
And a great run there, as you see that he has had great vision going through the hole. As he turned up in the hole, he started to pick up the blocks and pick up the other guys that are coming after him. As you see him coming through the hole here. Watch this. Oh, man, that was pretty nice. Looked like Charlie Ward back in the days.
Speed on the season. 48 rushes for 358 yards. 7.5 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. He runs it for a first down for the Wildcats. Line of scrimmage, their own 44. Bacon gonna roll with it. Now raises, fires, dumps it out in the flats. Pass hanging in the air. It's incomplete. Intended for Patterson coming out of the backfield, but good coverage in the secondary by Ronaldo Warner for the Cougars.
And it was a very good play here, a very good play call, but the quarterback, as you see, he was looking downfield first, and by the time he came off of the downfield, he was trying to hit the guy in the flat, and by that time the guy was covered. But a very, very good play call at the time. It just didn't quite hook up on the play.
Second down and 10 now for Camden County. Warner with a fine defensive play on the previous play. On the ground, coming left side. It's Patterson with the football. Patterson pickup of about 4.
Some guys have great vision. Some guys have a lot of power. Some guys just hit the pile and just like, hey, something's going to happen. Either I'm going to come through it or I'm going to take somebody along with me. And that's what Patterson did on that play.
Patterson, 57 rushes, 337 yards in the campaign. He too with a nice clip per carry at 5.9 and 2 touchdowns.
But he's sandbagging though. He's 5.9. He's not been at 8 and 7. Like the rest of the guys were.
Third down, 5. Bacon stops, fires out in the flats, incomplete. They've been working on that pass all of this first quarter, have not been able to connect yet. Intended this script for DJ Jones out there, but he wasn't able to complete it.
But you know what? They've got to establish some other things first. I think that will happen. That play, they're going to stick with it. And believe me, you're going to see a heavy dose of that later on in the game as they start to kind of settle down the offense. Right now, teams are playing on a lot of emotion on both sides of the ball, and once that emotion kind of gets out of it and everybody starts to settle down, think about what they're trying to do, they'll be all right.
Question for you after this punt. Bacon handles it off the carpet with the kick. Fair catch called for by Stiegel near the 11-yard line, and that's where the Cougars take over. 4 teams still remaining from the Georgia Dome. Camden County and Newnan. We're going to settle that one here momentarily, and tomorrow night it's the Wildcats of Valdosta meeting the Seminoles of Westside. Valdosta at 10-3 on the campaign, and the Seminoles at 11-2. Another good ball game on tap tomorrow. The 10th of the 10 will conclude with that one.
Great football. I tell you what, this time of year, I love it. This is the time to sit down and see what's going to happen. This is what dreams are made of in high school football.
5:41 remains in this first quarter. On the ground, whistles and flags at the line of scrimmage. Cougars coming right side.
I think we got somebody over there moving a little bit too soon. Like I said, all that emotion that's going on. Everybody wants to get on camera, but not that way.
Cougars strike first here in the Georgia Dome, Gerald, and they do it through the air against a defense that had only given up a passing touchdown in the first ball game of the season. Perhaps the Cougars with that strike rattling the Wildcats.
Dead ball. Ball start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say they're rattling them, but I tell you what, it certainly caught them off guard to go ahead and get a score that quick, because it has not happened since the first game of the year. You're talking about a team that had 48 unscored quarters, to their credit. So that had to be a big surprise to them.
On the ground, coming right side, it's King with the football for the Cougars. Works it up near the 6-yard line. Got 1, maybe 2 on the carry.
That's another one of their big guns right there. And Jock Roman, he's one of their main guys out there. He's going to be all over the field. He makes tackles. He is the guy on their defense that he's their leader.
Roman, 90 tackles on the season, 6 of those for loss and 2 sacks. Roman, also an artist, has 2 CDs that he's already released.
Are they rap or what? I think they're rap. I don't think it's jazz or anything, is it?
I haven't been able to determine. On the ground, left side this trip. It's King, fights ahead for another 2. Had our John Nelson trying to spy on Jock Roman to find out exactly the nature of the 2 CDs, but we know that he's released 2.
Well, I know that he'd be down. I know he would definitely play it. He'd probably run back there in the back and get a CD player. And next thing, we couldn't find him, and he'd come out here with his glasses on and his blinks and all kind of stuff. So we got to watch him.
4:30 and the clock running in this first quarter. Shotgun is the set for Horn. Trips to his right. Horn with the drop in the end zone, looking upfield now. It's got some separation downfield. Perfect strike down to Brown. Brown inside of Wildcat territory to the 47-yard line.
I tell you what, I see why this guy has all the passing records around there. He has some unbelievable touch on that ball just then. And you could not have thrown a prettier ball to the receiver in stride. As you see, he drops back, has plenty of time. They didn't get any pressure on him, and he just lays it in there just perfect. I mean, a receiver drops that ball, then everybody's like, come on, guys, what else can he do? Perfect pass.
Patterson on the coverage for the Wildcats, but Brown in stride with the grab from Horn. And the Cougars are back in Wildcat territory once again.
And it looks like that he may have kind of sprained his ankle on that play as he went down in the tackle, so he's on the sideline. Why not get it taped up?
Horn play fakes in the line, rolling right side, raises, fires downfield. This one slightly underthrown and incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Keeble.
Much better coverage that time. This time they didn't allow the receiver to just kind of take his time.
Take a look at the tail end of that play. The Wildcats are certainly determined to smack Horn every time he drops back for a pass. They do it on that play.
Well, if he continues to throw like he's throwing, they're going to throw everything they can at him. You know, you can't have a quarterback sitting back there and not be touched and not be hurried and continue to make passes like that.
Second down effort coming now for the Cougars. Shotgun for Horn. On the ground, they give it to King. King caught behind the line of scrimmage. Good defensive surge by LaShawn Booth for the Wildcats.
Very, very slow developing play. Got the handoff. Kind of a misdirection type of play. As he's starting out to the left, he comes back to the right. You see the offensive lineman pulling with him, but it just developed too slow. It was too long. And a very, very quick defense. They're going to snuff that out, and they're going to pounce all over that as soon as they get a chance.
Booth showing some of that 4-7 quickness on that play. As you take a look at total yards up to this point, Noonan dominating with 33, just 30, with 93, and just 36 for the Wildcats. Third down play for Horn and the Cougars. Short side of the field with the roll. Now raises up top, throws it downfield, and incomplete. Stiegel was down there, but double covered by the Wildcats.
And I think Stiegel was thinking deep at first, but then he saw the quarterback scrambling and stopped and decided to come back and try to help him out. Often those passes like that get intercepted because the receiver kind of throws the quarterback off and he doesn't get a chance to get set, and he throws the ball down there that's ill-advised, and the defensive backs pick it off, but they got lucky that time.
Wall will punt it. And Bacon backpedals near the 50. High snap over the head of Wall. He's got to chase it down. Dives on it near the 23-yard line. And boy, what a break for the Wildcats of Camden County, Gerald.
Can't have this. You know, this is one of those things that kind of swings the momentum back a little bit to Camden County, because these guys are still kind of stunned of some of the things that have happened to them. Now they get a big play on the special teams, and special teams, you know, most people don't talk about them, but they are so important. And even just a little punt like that, they have got to make sure that everything is in order. But now Camden County has a chance to get down there inside in the red area, as we call it. I don't know if they call it the blue area because of their colors or whatever. I don't know, but now they have a chance to get a score.
Down at the 22-yard line of the Cougars. And here comes Bacon under center. Wing T set. Misdirection. Bacon's going to roll in the pocket right side. Going upfield to the end zone. Pass incomplete. He had Patterson at the back of the end zone, but couldn't get the connection.
Another opportunity here to score for them. Bacon actually on this play, almost a similar thing that happened earlier for the Noonan team. Look at it as the receiver just at that speed, the defensive back just kind of misplayed the ball and almost cost them a touchdown that time.
Patterson was open at the back of the end zone. So it's 2nd and 10 now for the Wildcats. Left side. It's Campbell with the football. Campbell inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line.
One of those plays coming and trying to work on the left side of the line. Maybe they think they see something, because I've seen quite a few plays coming this side more than I have the other side. It may balance out as the game goes on, but right now it seems like they're really trying to work on that left side of the offensive line.
3rd down and 7 for the Wildcats. 2:13 and the clock running here at the Georgia Dome, first quarter. Coach Herring peering up at that clock. Bacon under center, trips to his right. They give it in the line. Right side is Maxwell with the football. Maxwell inside the 15, down to the 14, short of the first down marker.
You know, they can try to mix it up with some of the other running backs if they want to. That's fine. But I tell you what, Maxwell, he's their guy. He runs. He knows how to run inside. He's not one of those guys with a real quick feet, all that stuff. You know, the little scat back type. He's one of those big, long strider guys, but he runs well inside. It seems like he's able to turn up, and he has very, very good vision in the hole. Fourth down for the Wildcats. They appear to be going for it. 4th and 1. Now you take a look at Coach Herron at the sideline. Indicates he wants to take a timeout. 1:25 remaining in this first quarter. So the Wildcats take a timeout with a big 4th and 1 coming their way. Mark your calendar for Friday night, January 30th, for the return of Georgia's longest-running high school sports and academics program, Prep Sports Plus. You'll meet some of Georgia's most successful student athletes, athletic programs, and much more. That's Prep Sports Plus, returning on Friday, January 30th at 11 p.m., exclusively on GPTV. Newnan with the early lead over the Wildcats of Camden County. 1:25 remains in this first quarter. The winner advances to the 5A finals next weekend, meeting either Valdosta or the West Side High School. As we take a look at some of the action from earlier today at the Dome, Lincoln County in a squeaker got by Tryon 28-24 in a fantastic ball game. In the 2A matchup, it was Carlton County all over Vidalia, 22-9, the final in that one. In the 3A ball game, another good contest. LaGrange wins it over Washington County, 20-17. And in the 4A matchup, it was Marist, 35, Thomas County Central, 21. As we face a 4th and 1 on the ground, and rolling it right side is Bacon. Bacon dumps it out in the flats. And the catch made at the corner by Maxwell, and that appears to be enough for that Wildcat first down. It's going to be close. I tell you what, you know how you spotted with the right foot or the left foot, and I'm not sure which one, but it was very, very close there as he went out of bounds. And they are going to measure this. Looking at Coach Herron, seems to show that he thinks he's got it by that movement at the sideline, but let's take a look as they stretch the chains. And Coach Herron is right. He marked it with the left foot. They got enough for the first. That was very, very close there. Almost, I mean, everybody was holding their breath over there because, you know, you go for it on a 4th down like that in a situation where, hey, this team can either turn around, get the momentum going back against you if you don't get it. So big time play for Camden County. The Wildcats keep the football. Down on the 12 of the Cougars, left side with the football. Inside the 10 with the carry is Campbell. Campbell works it down near the 8. This is where it gets tough down here. You know, a wing T team, you're going to have everybody kind of close in there. You're not going to get a whole lot of gaping holes there for guys to run in. I mean, if it does happen, it's because somebody pretty much broke down on their assignment. But it's going to be tough right in here with the wing T to run. They're going to have to open them up and loosen the defense up a little bit, you know, as this game goes on, so they can be able to throw the ball, so they can run a wing T plays. 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats. They come right side, this time with the football wrapped up immediately. His speed and good defensive work by Ernest Mitchell, the senior defensive tackle for the Cougars. This guy takes up a lot of space out there. He's not their average defensive player. This is a big guy. He's quick, he's fast, he's mobile, and he makes plays. Mitchell with the stop. You take a look at his season performance, 133 tackles, 20 of those for losses, 10 sacks for Mitchell. That's a heck of an average for or a number of plays making a tackle for a guy in the middle. That is great. That's linebackers numbers, but you have a guy there who's down on the line making plays like that. Mitchell benches 425, squats 540. Woo. 3rd down and whistles at the line of scrimmage. They didn't get the playoff before the end of the first quarter. That definitely no time left. They stopped it. I don't think they got it in before then. Indeed, they did not. At the end of the first quarter, the Cougars with a surprising lead, 7-0. So after 1 quarter, it's the Cougars of Newnan leading the Wildcats of Camden County 7-0. We'll step aside for a timeout. We'll come back with the second quarter.
Back live at the Georgia Dome, we get set to start the second quarter. Newnan leading Camden County 7-0, but the Wildcats of Camden County threatening.
Yes, they are. And I tell you what, I look at this Camden County team. They, in sheer numbers, they probably were superior already.
Take a look at some of the
you
fans here.
Crazy crowd
Camden County.
They call them the Camden Crazies. You know that. And they are. If you look out there over the stadium, look at all the seats. I think all of Camden County is here.
Well, they sense their first score is right on the horizon. Third down. And 8 for the Wildcats. Football on the 10-yard line. Bacon under center this trip. In motion goes Speed. They roll it right side. Bacon raises, fires, pass incomplete. Trying to get it to Campbell, but the pass thrown out of bounds. A correction, trying to get it out in the flats to Patterson.
Well, I tell you what, Fernando Phillips is one of their top defensive backs there covering that. He had 2 guys to cover there. They had one over top, one underneath, and that kind of puts a lot of pressure on him with a defense like that, trying to stretch it and get him involved to where he has to make a decision to cover one or the other. If he goes to the guy in the back, they're going to hit the guy underneath, which they try to do that time. But the quarterback's got to make a better decision to get force a receiver to throw it to.
So Anthony Pages will come on now to try a field goal for the Wildcats. Bacon will hold. Pages just 1 of 4 in field goals. This will be a 27-yard effort by Pages. Pages with enough leg in it, hit it hard, and he missed it right side. So Pages stuck the football hard on the kick, just didn't have the accuracy, so the Cougars will take the football back.
Well, that's unfortunate for them. They had something going on here, I think, for an offense, but you've got to score in that opportunity. Whether it's a 3-point or whether it's a touchdown, you've got to make something happen there for your defense. That gives them a little bit more to come out to, when they have to face them and say, hey, all right, we got some points now. Let's settle down and make something happen.
Cougars leading at 7-0. Starting from their own 20, just underway in the second quarter. Horn under center. Quick hitting play to Arnold, the fullback, and Arnold gang tackled by the Wildcats.
Well, I tell you what, Thomas Myers, I believe that's who it was in there. He just totally destroyed this guy in the center in there. As you see, he's just pushing people around, grabs the running back and a couple of his teammates also, and takes everybody to the ground. He may be a wrestler or something. Does he sure look like he was on that play? Strong kid. You can see the development in his hips and his legs, and you got a guy like that in the middle. That's what you need.
That'll make it second down and 13 after the defensive surge. And the Newnan Cougars beat 3-time defending champs Parkview to make it here in this semifinal matchup. As Horn had it batted at the line of scrimmage, trying to get it out in the flats to Stiegel. And the Cougars, with that win over Parkview, spoil their chances of a four-peat. But it gave Newnan a lot of momentum coming into this ball game.
That's right. If nothing else, their season has been worth everything, just knocking off the defending state champs.
Frierson, the junior, batted that pass down at the line of scrimmage. So it's third down and 13 for the Cougars. This tight shot on Tyler Horn, the junior quarterback, snap to him, gives it in the line to the full to King this trip. King got it past the 15 up to the 16. And that'll bring up the fourth down.
And Brian House there, the junior, making a nice play as he had a dual read there. It was a pass or a draw, and he watched the play develop and decided to get up in there and made the tackle. Nice play him. Closed very quickly on the ball.
Bacon back deep, Wall to kick it. Pressure coming, and he got it away. Line drive kick. Bacon trying to circle on it under it. Now he'll let it roll. Down near the 40-yard line is where it will stop, and the Wildcats will have it from there. Tonight's game can also be viewed live on the GPTV internet site at www.gpb.org. Just follow the links to connect to the game. All the games from the Dome this weekend will be archived and available on the GPT website as well. That's www.gpb.org. Some of the Wildcat faithfuls here in the Dome as they come back on offense. 10-14 remains first half. Wildcats trailing the Cougars 7-0. Misdirection. Second man through with the carry is Patterson. Patterson got it up near the 42.
You know, Newnan the Newnan defense is making it very, very difficult for them to run their plays here in this wing T. I want to point out something that happened last play on the punt. Look for these guys. I think they found something there. Even though they didn't block it, they had guys in range in the area to block that punt. Special teams are going to be very, very important in a game like this later on. And I guarantee you they're going to come after the punter next time because they did not block it well, did not pick it up very well.
It was Campbell on the previous carry for the Wildcats. He picked up 4 at 2nd and 6. Now right side. It's Patterson with the football. Patterson near the 44. And a good spread of the field by that Newnan defense. Stop made by Perry Hollis.
As we call that, the speed. We used to call it the speed play where that guy's coming in motion. He takes the play and just continues on trying to get outside, trying to stretch the defense before they get a chance. But I tell you what, to Newnan's credit, these guys here have some speed. They have some speed out there on defense, and they can shut plays down like that.
Hollis with that stop on the play. It's 3rd down and 6. From the 44, total yards. Camden County 42 on the ground, just 2 in the air. Minus 27 from Newnan on the ground. Left side with the carry of Speed. Backs it into the secondary. Speed at the 35, down near the 34-yard line. They finally find the crease left side, Gerald.
Well, they found the crease that time, and I tell you what, I don't know if but one of the guys here on the offensive line may have been holding or a clip or something, but you know what? So what? It was a penalty there, all right, but you know what? It gives them a little idea that they can break some plays there. They can make some things happen. They're just going to have to keep with it now, keep plugging, and make sure that they stay, don't let those things happen anymore.
Take a look at the replay. Flag coming in just at the point the Speed made the cut left side.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards, spot of the foul. Still 3rd down.
So the assessment nullifies a run by Speed.
This is early. This is still early on in the game. And I think Coach Heron over there also knows that, hey, guys, even though it was a penalty, it was a positive play for us. It may not be positive from the sense of the penalty, but we can make some yards. We can loosen these guys up. We just got to believe in each other, continue on, and play hard.
Well, you're an eternal optimist over there, huh?
Well, I'm trying to, make sure I got to keep these guys going, too.
3rd down play, left side, carry by Maxwell for the Wildcats. Got it back near the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and you say I'm the eternal optimist over here, but Coach Heron, I've seen this guy for a long time. I remember when he was at Wheeler High School here up here in Cobb County. He didn't get a chance to really do as much as he wanted to then, but he's a very, very good coach though.
Bacon will punt it on the 4th down. Stiegel stands at the 20. Flat kick by Bacon. Stiegel calls for fair catch, squeezes it at the 29-yard line. And that's where Newnan comes back on offense. She's got Wildcat fever. And they've got Cougar fever.
The Cougar fever, Wildcat fever, and wasn't there a song called Cat Scratch Fever or something like that too? All kind of fever up in here tonight.
Well, it is flu season.
I don't even want to touch that one though. I'll let that one go.
7:55 remains first half. Trips the horn, drops and goes back to the right side, trying to get it out in the flats to Goodman, but threw it high.
Smart play though, smart play. The receiver was jammed, and if he would have tried to force that in there, could have been picked off, could have been an interception. They didn't need to have something like that happen at this point in time, so anytime during the game, but smart play on the quarterback's behalf.
2nd down now and 10 for the Cougars. Robert Herring at the sideline. Shotgun for Horn. With the snap, rolling it to his left. Here comes the pressure. Horn raises, fires, and overthrows it near midfield, intended for Stiegel. Broke his route off near the 40.
Well, I don't know if he just had a little adrenaline flowing at that time, but Stiegel ran actually a fairly good route, and he sits right down in the middle of that defense. quarterback just overthrows the ball. Maybe kind of rushed it a little bit, feeling the pressure from the Camden County defense.
Horn didn't have an opportunity to set himself on the rollout and threw it high. 3rd and 10 now for Newnan. Shotgun set for Horn. Same set with the receivers. 3 to his left. They're coming on the blitz. Horns with pressure now. Rolls right side. Still rolling toward the sideline. Raises, fires, incomplete near the 40. Intended for Goodman. Threw it high with the pressure coming.
Well, a lot of pressure there. I'll tell you what, they were after him, and we said earlier on that they sent a message out to him that they're going to come and get him. And as you see right here, the Camden County defense here flushed him out of the pocket. He had to make a throw on the run. Would have been a great catch, but just wasn't quite able to pull it in.
So Wall will punt it away. And Bacon stands deep. Wall got it away. And Bacon will have a run back on this one. Feels it at the 37. Walks it to the 40 now. Trying to get to the corner. Nice defensive play out there on special teams by the Cougars. They shut him down at the 40. Georgia Public Broadcasting has made it easier than ever to show your support for great local programs like our coverage of the GHSA football playoffs. Simply visit our website at www.gpb.org. It's totally secure, simple to use, and it takes just 2 minutes. And thank you for the support of Georgia Public Broadcasting. So the Wildcats back on offense from their own 41.
They have the fever.
Bacon, split backfield behind him this trip. Left side working with the football is Campbell. Campbell got it up to the 42.
Right now I see that the Newnan defense, these guys are getting off the block extremely well. They are not waiting around for the guys to come after them. They are initiating the contact and trying to take the ball game to them on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And when you have that, it really messes up that wing T a whole lot.
Under 7 minutes remaining first half. 2nd down and 8 for Camden County. Bacon, misdirection on the inside with the football is Maxwell. Maxwell walking near midfield, and the pack gathers there close to that first down marker.
Swarm is more like it. But that's what you have to do, when you have running backs that are that good over on the Camden County side. Not great running backs, but they're all consistent. And certainly Maxwell is a guy that they know that they're going to have to get a hold on because he can make some things happen. As you see, even though he was still had all those guys on him, he's still moving the pile.
Absolutely.
Strong young man right there.
Maxwell on the night, 24 yards on 4 carries for Camden County. Cougars of Newnan High School knew it was going to be a big challenge to shut down that wing T offense of the Wildcats. Thus far, they've contained them.
Well, you talk about it, an offense as you look at the measure here for the first down, and boy, just by the nose of the football. I think that extra push that he gave, as you saw there, that's what got him there. So a lesson to all running backs: don't go down until you just have to. I guess give a lot of push, but it's kind of tough though when a lot of guys are hanging all over your back. But these guys here have scored some points. They have the record, I guess not a record, but they held all their teams this year to only 30 points. But at the same time, and offensively, they scored over 400 points.
Absolutely right. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, just inside of Cougar territory. They work it right side. With the football, it's Speed chased out of bounds near the 41, and here comes the flag. You saw it.
I could see it coming. That was a little unnecessary roughness over there by one of the Newnan players as the guy was going out of bounds.
Take a look at this one coming right at you in your living room. Pick up that coffee table. Here comes Jaron Speed. Speed, Jaron, the younger brother of Daron, with that carry. Speed's going to be a good one. Jaron, that is, only a 9th grader.
He's only a 9th grader, that's right. This guy here has a very, very promising career here at Camden County.
Coach Herring looking at the officials mark it off against his Cougars.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Those are the ones that really, really hurt. You can accept some penalties, or all right, 5 yard, 10 yard, if it was an offside, whatever. But the personal foul penalties are the ones that really, really eat you up on either side of the ball.
1st and 10. Bacon
Left side, Campbell with the football. Campbell inside the 50 or the 25, working it down near the 22. They run it off tackle. Joshua Campbell, the senior, with the carry.
I sense that Camden County is starting to kind of simmer down a little bit here.
Take a look at the replay, Gerald. You see the tackle out front on that play.
Oh, yeah.
Lead blocked by Hunter Thornhill.
I like to see those kind of guys get out there and pull. You know, as a running back, an ex-running back, you know, that's your bread and butter right there. And to get those guys out there. Now, I like to see him get there with a little bit more of an attitude, but he still got out there nonetheless.
Bacon with the misdirection on the inside. It was Patterson with the carry. And Patterson banged hard at the line of scrimmage. You could hear the crunch from up here.
Yeah, he was banged hard, all right, and it was because, again, the Newnan defense is getting off the blocks. That's exactly why that happened there. As you see right here, by the time he turns up in the hole there, hey, he's got a guy there, nobody's even touched him. So these guys are getting off of the blocks. Offensive linemen in the wing tee have to maintain their blocks. They have to sustain blocks. If they don't, it makes it a hard night for the running backs.
Jeremy Russell on the stick there for the Cougars. Third down, 4. Shotgun is the set for Bacon and the Wildcats. Bacon with the snap, looking left, fires out at the corner. Catch going to be made. Looks like it's enough for the first down. Grab was made by DJ Jones, the senior.
And he held on to it just long enough to get the completion. I thought for a second that he may have dropped the ball, but it was pretty much knocked out of his arms long after I guess he had established it and gotten out of bounds maybe.
Take a look at the replay. Nice aerial at the sideline by Bacon. Jones did bobble it for a moment there.
Yeah.
Look at the replay here.
It's a questionable call, but, you know, everybody can see that. The officials have to make a call right there. So, hey, it's a first down for Camden County.
Jones with 14 catches on the season, 204 yards, averaging over 14 yards per grab. They come back on the ground. On the inside is Maxwell. Maxwell, gang tackled by the Cougars. Surge led up front by Ronaldo Warner and Santez Mays. First chance we've had to call Mays' name tonight, Gerald, but Mays has turned in a fine playoff for the Cougars with a big fumble recovery in the ball game against Parkview.
Sure did.
And did the same thing against Northside Warner Robins to still a win.
And they made their living on turnovers. So, you know, a defense like this, that they're very, very tough. They're very, very stingy also. They're opportunistic in terms of those turnovers. So Camden County better hold on to the ball.
2nd and 7. They go right side with the football is Speed. With Speed again getting a good surge from the Cougar defensive line, and they push them back.
Man, these guys are tough. Mays again, as you see that this guy here he's a big man right there too. Very, very physical player. You know, right now I think they're realizing that, hey, we got to stop this. Camden County seems to be getting a little bit of confidence. They're starting to run the ball a little bit more efficiently. Now we've got to settle down and start making some things happen on our side of the ball. Get back to that controlling line of scrimmage.
Mays with 7 seconds left. But you take a look at the third down conversions on the night. A timeout called on the field. 3:36 remains first half. We're talking about Mays in those playoffs for the Cougars in the Parkview ball game. Picked up a fumble with 7 seconds left and returned it 55 yards for what was the winning touchdown.
The winning touchdown in that game. So, like I said, if nothing else, that's still the big badge for them this year is that they knocked off the defending state champions. Everybody had been wanting to do it for a long time, but Newnan came along and actually did it during the playoffs. Nobody's beat them in the playoffs in, 3 or 4 years? So, hey, big win for them, for their program. Catapults them into the playoffs in here, right there in the Georgia Dome.
Cougar team made it to the finals in 1981. Their only appearance in the finals, they lost that one to Warner Robins. This team of Cougars, only 7 seniors start for this group.
Man, that's
very rare.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big time. This is a very, very big play right now here for Camden County because they don't want to go away with nothing. You know, they want to get some kind of points as you only have 3 minutes and 36 seconds before halftime. You want to get something here, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. Big play right here.
3rd down and 7, as you indicate, Gerald. They can get a first down before a touchdown. Bacon under center. Fakes it in the line, rolling right side. Here comes the pressure. Now he's got some time. Fires it in the end zone. Good defensive play in the back of the end zone by Fernando Phillips. Phillips, the senior, able to get a hand in there and break up the pass intended for DJ Jones.
And you know what? He's made plays like that all year long. He said that he's probably the player that's made the biggest impact on that team all year long with his play, the way that he goes out, the way that he makes things happen. led the league. I think he was either tied with interceptions this year, had a couple of fumbles run back for touchdowns. He's a solid defensive player. A lot of folks, a lot of colleges are going to be playing. He will be playing on Saturday here sometime soon.
Phillips with 8 interceptions led the region. Indeed, you're right, as Anthony Pages comes on now to try the field goal for the Wildcats. It'll be a 27-yard effort by Pages. They get the snap down. This time, did Pages drive it through? Yes, he got that one done. Missed from the same distance prior, but this time Pages able to stick it through. And the Wildcats get on the scoreboard.
Big play. They needed that very, very desperately because the Newnan defense was playing them extremely tough during the whole game. They weren't able to really run, so they had to have something happen. They kind of settled down a little bit, but they needed that 3 points to kind of give them a little bit of confidence and maybe look at things differently from the standpoint of the head coach. So now that the play calling may be a little bit different, they can open some things up.
Let's take another look at the field goal. A hold by Bacon. And Pages, remember from last year in the semifinals, hit a big field goal to get him into that overtime with Brookwood.
Yeah.
There he drives it through.
You know, I remember seeing him last year. I was thinking, is this kid big enough to be on the field? You know, I'm thinking, all right, somebody escaped from the daycare or whatever, and now they're out here with a football uniform. He's a small little guy with a big number. But nonetheless, that's what's so great about high school sports, the innocence of it. You have kids out here. It doesn't make a difference sometimes what size they are, how big they are. Sometimes if they have the heart and the desire to get out here and play, that's what will happen. You'll find a place to put him out there.
Pages has found his place. High, short kick by Pages. Stiegel will have a run back from the 9. Ducks it right side at the 20, looking for a hole short side of the field. And roughed up at the sideline. Good open field tackle by Joshua Campbell on special teams for the Wildcats. And the Cougars from the 24 take a look at that scoring drive. 9 plays, 49 yards for the Wildcats. Took 3 minutes, 59 seconds. It concludes with a 27-yard field goal by Anthony Pages. So a 7-3 lead for the Cougars, and they come back on offense. This time starting a drive from their own 29 with 3:17 remaining first half. Shotgun for Horn. Trips to the left. Snap, short pitch pass out in the flat. Stiegel with the football in his hands at the 35. They chase him out of bounds near the 36.
That's that defense that we were talking about earlier, where they had everybody line up there in line of scrimmage, trying to give them a lot of stuff to look at and trying to get the quarterback confused. They did it that time, but this time he was able to get a nice little pass out there to Stiegel and let him do his thing.
Let's take a look at the replay. Stiegel, the go-to man with that Cougar aerial attack, with the catch there. Makes it 2nd down and 2. Shotgun set once again for Horn. On the ground, right side, King with the football. King near the first down marker. Down at the 40. That's enough for the first.
Trying to hold on to this ball, maybe ground it out a little bit so they won't give them an opportunity to get the ball back before this half is over with. But still trying to establish the run. They have to do that as that King going out.
Yes,
they can't afford to have many guys go down. They have some good backs, but certainly you want your main guys in there to carry the load.
King with the first down carry, but departs the football game after the first down pickup. Shotgun for Horn. Horn with the snap, looking right, pumps once. Now still looking up top, and here comes the pressure. They get a sack on him near the 33. LaShawn Booth, the junior defensive end, able to cover and close on Horn to get the sack. And Horn simply held that one too long, Gerald.
And that's what you call a coverage sack, because there was no one open. As you see right now, he's just trying to find someone. But as you do that as a quarterback, somewhere along the line, the clock has to go off. All right, I know I have a lot of time, but I better get rid of this ball because somebody is going to be breathing down his neck.
And the person doing it was LaShawn Booth. Booth with 65 tackles on the year, 10 of those for losses, 7 sacks. Just picked up a big one there for that Wildcat defense. 2nd down and 16 after the sack of Horn. They'll take the snap, play fake in the line, looking up top. Lofts it out. Got Stiegel down near the 35 with the comeback catch for the Cougars down near the 30-yard line.
Well, you know what? He was on that route. He was open twice. He was open deep and he was open underneath. the ball stayed up there in the air long enough to where he was able to get back and make the catch. But as you see, great, tracking the ball. He stumbled a little bit, was probably the reason why he had to come back for it. But that was, great adjustment on his behalf to come back and get that ball.
Take a look at a coverage by Delron Speed, but Stiegel able to come back and adjust to make the 37-yard reception. And Stiegel that is, seems to be a bit shaken as he came back with that football. Looked like he may have jammed his foot or something on that turf. Horn now, back to live action. Got a man at the 10. Pass incomplete, intended for Jared Brown. And calling for a flag.
Well, you know what happened?
Get one.
Yeah, I was thinking about Stiegel earlier on in the game. I believe in the first quarter he came down with a play and twisted his ankle. Now you see on this play they come back, and the reason they threw that flag, the defensive back never looked around.
Absolutely.
He never turned around to look back for the play, look for the ball, trying to make the play, and they get the flag on him.
So the Cougars will have it deep in Wildcat territory after the assessment. Chance to build on their lead with 1:20 remaining first half.
And man, if they can get something out of this one too, that'll be a huge boost for them going into the locker room at halftime. For them to, with anticipating them coming out saying, "Hey,
pass interference on the defense, half the distance goal from the previous spot, automatic first down."
I guess he's all right. He kind of closed his eyes on there for a second. I was wondering, but yeah, as you see there, the penalty yards already. I mean, that's 55 yards that Camden County is having, and that's already kind of affecting them to have those kind of plays.
Timeout taken on the field by Coach Jeff Herron and the Wildcats. They trail at 7-3 to the Cougars. Georgia Public Broadcasting would like to say a special thank you to our Moral Society members. GPB's Moral Society are the elite contributors whose commitment to public broadcasting ensures that we can continue to provide quality radio and television programs to all Georgians. For more information about the Moral Society at Georgia Public Broadcasting, just call 404-685-2581. Coach Herron and the Wildcats take the timeout. With 1:20 remaining, certainly don't want the Cougars to go in with another touchdown.
No, they do not. But I tell you what, these Cougars right now, they're getting some old mo, as we call it, just in anticipating of getting some points out of this. But they don't want to give anything up here. They want to go ahead and get either a touchdown or a field goal to help their cause out with taking a lead into the locker room.
Shotgun set for Horn. 1st and 10 from the 15 of the Wildcats. Horn in the pocket. Fires across the middle. Pass incomplete. He threw it behind Stiegel. Stiegel had a step on the coverage. Well, Horn threw it behind.
Did he have a step? This guy here is just, he's living in the defensive backfield, catching passes. These guys can't cover him. He ran a nice route that time and decided to break the route inside. But the quarterback, again, has to lead him. Can't just throw the ball out there to think that he's always going to make a great catch. He has to give him an opportunity to make that catch. He should have led him on that pass.
Horn holds a record for most pass completed and yards for its performance this year at Newnan. Out of the backfield with the pass in the flats, incomplete to Jared Brown. Brown took his eyes off it.
Yeah, that's that cardinal sin. You can't run without the ball. Certainly when they throw it to you, you've got to catch it before you can go anywhere.
Brown with 2 big catches already in this first half. As you
see here, you clearly see it. Yeah, he's thinking about the guys coming up to make the hit, and likely, that's human nature. You're out there running the ball. You don't want anybody to put your lights out, so you got to be ready.
Horn 6 of 16 on the night for 135 yards. Already tossed 1 touchdown pass. Shotgun for Horn, going back to the end zone. This time Stiegel wide open, but the pass thrown at the back of the end zone. Looks like some broken coverage there for the Wildcats. But Horn not able to connect with Stiegel.
Well, it's just a matter of hooking up, as they call it. On this play, they had a good play call on again. Just could not execute as Stiegel beat his man again in the end zone. Quarterback just didn't quite get it to him.
Look at the replay. Bacon was in short coverage for the Wildcats. Stiegel there with a nice 5-7 yard separation, but not able to get the pass. Kyle Sherman now on to try the field goal. 32-yard effort. Sherman hits it with a resounding thud, and he drives it through for the Cougars and they extend their lead. Noonan 10, Camden County 3 after the field goal.
You know, we talked earlier about how these two teams, you know, coming out of certainly Camden County coming out of their region, people saying that, you know, they didn't play against some of the tougher teams, but then Noonan getting here in the playoffs first time in since what, 81, getting past the first round at least. These two teams here, you throw it all out the window. Right now, these guys are looking like, you know, two playoff teams, two playoff championship-bound teams who are just going to try to see who's going to have the most will to win this game. Right now, Noonan is showing everybody that they deserve to be here at Camden County. I thought they had something to prove from last year and coming in here and losing the way that they did last year. But right now, they seem to be a little shocked at what's going on.
Cougars, after 7 plays and 45 yards, taking up 2 minutes 24 seconds. They settled on the 32-yard field goal by Kyle Sherman to build on their lead. Speed and Patterson stand deep for the Wildcats. And Sherman gets set to kick it away for Noonan. Deep kick by Sherman. It's Patterson near the 2, to the 10, now working it left side, to the 20, now back to the inside. Sheds off one blocker at the 27-yard line, and the Cougars catch up with him. And a flag comes in after the tackle.
Late flag, usually maybe a face mask or something. Somebody may have done a little bit of extra pulling on there to try to get the guy down. As the officials get together on this and see what they're going to come up with.
Face mask called on the defense. Less than a minute remains first half. And we'll see with the assessment whether Coach Herron and the Wildcats decide to take a shot downfield.
It's just a 5-yard face mask.
Face mask on the kicking team. 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So they'll make the line of scrimmage to 32 with 48 seconds left first half. Bacon going under center. And they'll take the drop. Pumps once. Looking upfield. Down the sideline, and pass is incomplete. It's intended for DJ Jones. Jones was covered, and Bacon threw it deep and out of bounds.
And covered very well, as they looked like they were in that form of prevent defense, which I never like anyway, but you can call it prevent defense, but that's what they were in, and could not quite hook up on the play as the quarterback got the ball out of bounds on the Camden County side.
Coach Herring and the Cougars enjoying a 10-3 lead at the moment. Second down and 10 for the Wildcats. Misdirection to keep it on the inside as Maxwell with the carry. Maxwell got it up near the 37.
Well, you know, it's called going in the locker room. Let's not hurt ourselves right now. Let's just go ahead and get this ball, you know, run the clock out, get in the locker room, and talk about what's been going on.
Noonan with 3 timeouts left. They're not going to try to extend this first half either. Satisfied with their 7-point edge. Third down 4. Last play of the first half coming here. Quick pitch, right side, Speed looking for a hole. Works it up to the 42. Stop made by the Cougars. And it brings us to the end of the first half. It's a 10-7 lead for Noonan over the Wildcats of Camden County. Surprised by that, Gerald?
I'm very surprised. You know, you're talking about a team that's very high-powered. Nobody's been able to stop this team score, you know, pretty much all season long. Like I said, with 400 points, they led the state in scoring. So I am kind of surprised, but I am not surprised from the standpoint of the defense.
John Nelson standing by. Nelly.
Thank you, Charles, here with head coach Herring. Now, got to ask, with everything going on, they were bringing 8 guys, and it seemed to open up the hash marks for you for the passing game, and that resulted in the touchdown.
That's right. If we can just block and pick up the stunts, in other words, we can get the people open. But the harsh thing against this bunch is to pick up the stunts, and they're doing a great job, and we're not doing real bad ourselves about picking them up.
And you were talking about that Tyler in the first half with that pressure. I think he's 6 of 17. How unexpected is that of a number for him for his successes?
Well, usually he's around 60%, but now we get lots of pressure. It's a big game tonight, but he's going to do good.
All right, head coach Robert Herring, thanks a lot. He'd like to say hi to his 92-year-old father who's watching at home, and he's looking forward to seeing him when he gets back upstairs to Charles and Gerald.
Well, you just did it for him, Nelly. 10-3, the Cougars leading in Camden County. At the intermission, we'll step aside for the timeout. Halftime coming your way. We are back live at the Georgia Dome at intermission. It's the Newnan Cougars leading the Wildcats of Camden County 10-3 at the break. Fans here at the Georgia Dome being entertained at halftime by the Camden County High Marching Wildcats, 187 members strong. And let's go down and we'll take a listen as well. As the marching Wildcats continue their performance here at the Georgia Dome, let's send it down to our music maestro, John Nelson at sideline. Nelly.
Oh, I'm just known for flats, majors, and minors. I didn't do all that well in music. Here with Alan Smith. All right, Outcast to Skinner. You said that the kids came up with this idea. You're letting them run the show? What's going on?
Well, they did a pretty good job at our competition where we did West Side Story, so I gave them an opportunity to do their own thing.
And how long did it take to put this together? I saw it last week in Kingsland, so this was pretty quick.
Yeah, last week in Kingsland was the very first time we did it. And this week we decided to do a little bit from another show that we had done and kind of put them together, bridge them together.
Now, with everything and all of this, what's it like for everybody in Kingsland to be up here to see this and for your band to play here on the floor of the Dome?
We love it. We love it. That's the words I can give you. We really love it.
If there was one routine that you could give to them that you'd love to see them play, what do you think it would be?
One routine, but like I say, the kids have worked hard for me at the beginning of the year and give them the opportunity to do whatever they like to do.
Now, with everything in Kingsland, let's talk about Kingsland a little bit. You talk about the band. Talk about, from what your experience was, how many people and buses and everything came up from Camden County?
Oh, my gosh. I know there were at least 15 buses at the school when I got there this morning. So 15-plus buses and a number of people that came in the automobiles. So, oh, gosh, I'd say at least 10,000 people are here from Camden County.
So is there anyone left in Camden County?
I mean, the community is bigger than 10,000, so yes, we do have a few folks left there.
So everybody watching here apparently is on the submarines at the Kings Bay subbase, watching and keeping an eye on things for you guys.
You've got it. If they're not here, they're watching it somehow or listening to it, I guarantee you.
Now, the fight song, let me ask you this. How difficult is it for everything to be put together to where everything comes out right as they're coming off? How long did it take to put everything together to make sure everything was okay?
Actually, we've been working on it for maybe 2 weeks now. Well, what we actually did is at the very beginning, we put the music together during class, and then, of course, after school rehearsals, I'll say about 2 weeks.
Mr. Smith, thanks to your time. One band down, one to go. Let's back upstairs to Charles and Gerald.
Thank you, John, the hardest working sideline reporter in the Georgia Dome. We'll step aside for a timeout. 10-3 is your lead by Noonan. here at the Georgia Dome at the intermission. It's the Cougars of Newnan leading the Wildcats of Camden County 10-3. And right now the fans at the Dome being entertained by the Newnan High School Marching Cats. 155 members playing in unison. We'll go down and take a listen. Marching Cats still performing. Our John Nelson standing by Nelly.
Hey guys, we're down here with John Eldewan and the other band of the Marching Cats. It is noisy. I'll try and talk close. John Eldewan with the Marching Cats. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I saw you and you were saying there was a dangerous spot in there. How difficult is Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Oh, the music's wonderful. That's one reason we're doing the music. It's just great music.
Now, how long did it take for them? Let me first ask, how many of them, A, knew that Earth, Wind, and Fire were 3 of the 4 elements that make up the planet? There wasn't any water involved, but how many of them knew that Earth, Wind, and Fire, how many of them knew Earth, Wind, and Fire?
There were a few. And then the more we got into it, the more music they recognized. One of our tunes, the September, the final tune they're about to play is in a Gap commercial. And, of course, our opener, In the Stone, was in the movie Drumline.
Now, with everything going on, you guys, this is old hat for you being here in the Dome.
Yeah, this is actually the Noonan Band's 5th performance in the Georgia Dome. We did 3 high school classic kickoffs and a Falcons game in '94.
John Eldewan, thanks for your time. The other version of the Marching Cats, good luck. Nice music. Let's send it back upstairs to Charles and Gerald.
Thank you, Nelly. Marching Cats with a fine performance. And we had a pretty good performance in that first half as we take a look at some of the first half highlights in this 5A semifinal matchup. Here you look at Tyler Horn, quarterback for the Cougars, going up top. Found his favorite receiver, Stiegel, and Stiegel with the touchdown grab for the Cougars. They took the lead. But Anthony Pages drills a 27-yard field goal for the Wildcats. That made it 7-3. But here comes Horn back again for the Cougars, going back up top once again. And guess who he finds on the comeback route? It's Darryl Stiegel once again. That led to a 32-yard field goal for the Cougars, and they built the lead that they have now at the halftime, 10-3, as we take a look at some of the first half stats, Gerald.
And you see the one that stands out right now, the rushing yards, minus 30 for Noonan, 101 for Camden. These guys here, and then the time of possession, 15:05 versus 8:55 for Camden. I tell you what, these two teams are really grounding out on the ball, and that's been the big thing in this game. Not a whole lot of passing yards, as you see. Total yards for Camden County, 109. Total yards for Noonan, 105.
Horn, 6 of 17 in the air for the 135 yards, has the 1 touchdown. But we talked about it before we hit the air, Gerald, that the important thing, and we'll try to pick that up after we take this quick timeout. 10-3 your score at the intermission is the Cougars over the Wildcats. Back after the timeout to get started in the third. Noonan leading Camden County 10-3 as we get set to start the third. But before we do, John Nelson standing by with Coach Jeff Herron. John.
Thank you, Chaz. Here with Jeff Herron. You were telling me one of your biggest fears was seeing Noonan establish the run. They really weren't doing it, obviously, with minus 30, but they were getting the passes.
Well, they've hit some big plays, and they got a good team. But I felt like we didn't play our best game in the first half. And I don't know, we looked a little tired. Don't know if the trips took it out of us or what. But, you know, I told the kids at halftime, as badly as I think we played, we're still only down 1 score. And there's certainly time to fix it.
And you are also beginning to establish the running game a little bit, getting the 2s and the 3s into 4s and 5s as the half was going on too.
ball pretty good. We just didn't finish our drives, and certainly against them, we've got to do that in the second half.
Jeff, good luck second half. Let's send it back upstairs to Charles and Gerald.
Thank you, Nelly. As we get set to start the third, 10-3 lead for the Cougars over the Wildcats. Some adjustments needed for the Wildcats to get back into this football game.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to have to make some adjustments, and it's going to come from that offensive line play. They've got to open some holes. They've got to make some things happen and make some space for the running back. So the wing T is that misdirection plays all the time, but you've got to stay on the blocks, and that's been a big problem. Noonan has been having a field day because they've been getting off of the blocks and clogging up the lanes.
You're absolutely right. We talked about it prior to the ball game started. And that's what needs to be done. They've got to take care of that line of scrimmage. Otherwise, it'll remain this way. As we take a look at some of the scores from earlier today here at the Georgia Dome. In the single A matchup, a good ball game. Lincoln County advances to the finals with a 28-24 win over Tryon. They pull that one coming in from behind to advance. In the AA ball game, it was Charlton County 22, Valdelia 9. In the 2A matchup, so Charlton County gets to advance. And in the 3A matchup, it was LaGrange in a close one over Washington County. They won it 20-17. So Coach Purdue and the Grangers advancing. And then Marist in the win over Thomas County Central in the 4A matchup, 35-21. Coach Alan Chadwick and the War Eagles advancing to the finals. And coming up tomorrow, here from the Georgia Dome, we have more action in the single A division. Clinch County playing Hawkinsville. That's your 9 o'clock football game from the Georgia Dome. 2A, Buford Wolves with Dexter Wood, the head coach, facing Decatur in the 12 o'clock ball game. With the 3A matchup, it's Peach County versus Spalding at 3 p.m. And then in the 4A matchup tomorrow, it's Statesboro playing Tucker. That one coming away at 6 o'clock. And then the finale tomorrow in the 5A, it'll be Valdosta and Westside to conclude the 10 ball games in the semifinals from the Georgia Dome. Hal Sherman getting set to get us started in the second half. Charles Ward, Gerald Riggs, John Nelson with the play call from the Georgia Dome. Sherman with the kick as Patterson stands deep. And Patterson fields it at the 5. Works it to the right side at the 20. Crunched near the 27-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats will start on offense.
Well, I'll tell you what, Noonan has definitely been hitting everybody as Ronaldo Warner laid the lick on there on that kickoff return.
Take a listen at it in real time. Ooh. Can you say headache?
Oh, man. That's gives me flashbacks. Oh, but I tell you what, hats off to that GPTV crew down there. They pick up all that stuff all the time. Those guys are great.
Right on top of it with the audio. 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats. First possession, second half. This one's always important. On the ground, they go right side. Maxwell with the football. Walking it up near the 34, perhaps the 35-yard line. Jeremy Russell in on the stop for the Cougars. The junior linebacker.
Maxwell, they're trying to get him going to see early. And that's what they're going to need to do from an offensive standpoint. But they got to be careful. I know they're going to come out playing with a little bit of motion. Coach probably, got on them at halftime. Hey, guys, we got to come out and do better. But they got to be careful of that because their emotion only goes so far.
Bacon with that wing T offense under center. Misdirection will come back to the right side. It's John Speed with the football. The Speed crunched at the sideline once again by the Cougar defense. Russell and Gay combined for the stop.
I'll tell you what, again, getting off of the blocks is what's important. A couple of guys kind of blew that play up before it even got started. And then as you see on there, the linebackers, Russell and Gay, they close in and make a nice tackle there for no gain on the play.
Hear the sound on this one on Jerron Speed. They wrap up the sophomore in hard fashion. Gay with the stick. 141 tackles for Gay on the season. And here comes Bacon rolling left side, breaks the containment. Now tucks it up and runs it. Bacon up to the 40-yard line. That's enough for the Wildcat first down.
Enough of the first down and also enough to keep the drive going. They couldn't afford to come out and have a drive stalled here as we see Bacon limping off the field right now, or one of the players. Looks like they had a bad leg or something. It wasn't Bacon, it was one of the other players.
Bacon with the scramble. Runs for the first down for Camden County. So it's 1st and 10 from their own 40. Right side coming with the football is Speed. Speed got it up to the 42. That's Jerron Speed on the carry.
Let me correct myself. I thought I saw Bacon coming off the field that time. I think it was E.J. Jones. The other wide receiver was coming off at the time. Looked like he had a bum leg, a little bit limping. They need to get their players, keep their good players in the game, and certainly he is one of their big players.
2nd down and 8 for the Wildcats from their own 42. They give it straight ahead. Maxwell with the football. Flags coming in. Maxwell tackled at the 45-yard line. He got 2 on that carry, but we'll check the flag. His face mask against that Cougar defense. Take a look at Jeremy Russell, the linebacker, getting the play, the defensive set from the sideline. Take a look at the replay. And there you see a close call on that. It was Josh Brown, the senior defensive tackle, that got his hand in there.
Well, it was obvious enough to the officials to warrant a 15-yard penalty, a big one here against the Newnan team right now.
And sometimes it's a matter of how that head jerks with the runner with the football as to how the official makes that call.
Yeah, when there's a lot of contact in there, you got to be careful about that too, though. So, but they made the call, and we're going to stick with it.
1st and 10, rolling left side is Bacon. He's on his bicycle once again. Bacon at the 35, runs out near the 34. Warner chased him out of bounds.
And this is the way Camden County wanted to come out. They did not want to come out here and have a drive stall, getting the ball first. You want to kind of come out and make a statement to say that, hey, we're still in this game, guys. We've got to go out and do something. It's not just trying to be that eternal optimist as you called me on that earlier. they got to get something going here.
2nd and 5. They go left side. Maxwell's got some room. Maxwell in the secondary at the 10. Foot race 5. Touchdown, Wildcats. They get something going there, Gerald.
They do, and I'll tell you what, like I said earlier in the game, this guy here is not one of those quick feet type of guys, but when he gets in the open, he is gone. And as you see that, he pulled away in the last 10 yards from the defender, scored a touchdown. Big-time drive here for Camden County. They really needed that coming out of that halftime.
Josh Maxwell, the senior fullback, with the touchdown run for Camden County. And they can tie it if sophomore Anthony Pages converts on the point after. So an impressive opening drive of the 3rd quarter by the Wildcats. Bacon will hold. Pages with the kick. Pages on target, and we are tied at 10.
If they ever need that. But you know what, you look at, and the one thing that hurt Newnan on that drive was the penalty. The big 15-yarder that they got for the face mask, which allowed them to get down there. And as you see, Maxwell hits off the left side of the offensive line, breaks a tackle. Rest is Katie bar the door, baby. Touchdown. That's what they needed.
Maxwell with the run. And we're tied as we take another look at the run by Josh Maxwell. They ran it right, left side of the offensive line. As you take a look at the scoring drive, 7 plays, 57 yards, 2 minutes, 47 seconds to do it. And Maxwell with the 35-yard touchdown run to bring Camden County even with the Cougars. So, Gerald, now we have a football game.
Yeah, it's been a football game all along. You wake up over there. It's going to be a good one here now. I'll tell you what, these guys have been in the same. They were here last year. Okay, they played their hearts out last year. Ended up losing in overtime. Hopefully, it won't come down to that this year. But they have something to prove. They want people to know that, hey, just because they play in the region that they do, they can't fault them for beating up on everybody down there. All right, they're up here. They're in the playoffs. It's time for the championship now. Let's see if we can get back there.
So it'll be Pages to kick it. Stiegel stands deep. 9:13 left in this 3rd period. The The Wildcats on the opening drive of the third quarter, they convert with a touchdown. Pages approaches high, angling left side. It'll be fielded by one of the up men for the Cougars. And crunched at the 18-yard line. Carry by Fernando Phillips. Phillips walloped near the 18 by Wildcat special teams.
Yeah, I'd say walloped is right, because when you got to get positive yards. You start losing ground, that's what'll happen. The coach constantly tells you upfield, north and south. Well, he went a little east and west on that hit.
And he ran into 3 Wildcats chasing downfield on special teams, and they unloaded on him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now how Newnan, of course, is going to respond to this.
Horn, shotgun is the set. Whistles at the line of scrimmage. Had some motion at the line of scrimmage. We'll check it out.
I think the right tackle over there kind of jumped off a little bit.
Joe Massengale, senior tackle. You got him, Gerald. Coach Herring not happy about that. Now they'll push the Cougars back 5. Take a look at the replay. There you see Massengale, top of the screen, taking an early start.
Newnan has to be careful right here, because the Camden crowd is getting, the Camden Crazies are starting to get back into the game. And the team and their team over there, once they start to kind of get that momentum going, get a little fired up, then they start to play with a little bit of emotion for a little while, kind of take a little sting off of what Newnan has been doing to them in the first half. They better be careful here.
Shotgun for Horn. Looking upfield, dumps it out in the flats instead. At the corner, the catch is made by Sherrard Arnold. Arnold up near the 23-yard line. Arnold, the sophomore, with the catch. That'll make it 2nd down and 7. Coach Herring at the sideline, 32 years overall as a head coach. As you take a look at Horn's performance thus far, 7 of 18 for 143 yards with the 1 touchdown. Shotgun is set again for Horn. Whistles and flags at the line of scrimmage. Likely movement once again, Gerald. And those Camden Crazies may be responsible for that. They're making a lot of noise down there.
Yeah, not only are they making a lot of noise, but that right tackle over there, he may be a little bit shell shot, because of all the noise and what's going on. He's getting ready for the blitz, or the guys coming after them. So you got to hold your water and let that ball snap, because you can't go without it.
Massengale again on the movement. That'll make it 2nd down and 12. Trip receivers left side of Horn. Shotgun is the set. 4 up front for Camden County. On the ground they go. They give it to King. The King tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Falls ahead to the 20.
Yeah,
3rd down and 10.
I can feel that the Camden County defense is starting to wake up a little bit here. Not to say they've been asleep, but they have been letting some things happen. They can put some pressure on the quarterback and keep pressure on the quarterback, and Newnan not be able to get the ball off or run the ball effectively inside. This game may take a big turnaround here. Certainly with keeping these guys down here, they're going to come after a punt here pretty soon too. I guarantee you they will do it.
7:35 left in the 3rd. Shotgun for Horn with the snap, looking left, got some time, fires out in the flats. Pass dropped at the 30-yard line, intended for Jared Brown. A correction, intended for Stiegel at the 30, and Stiegel took his eyes off it.
Yeah, the sure-handed receiver who had a great first half, well, comes out here in the second half as you see throw the ball to him, and he takes his eye off it. You're right. I mean, he just outright just took his looked away thinking about the hit.
Perfectly thrown ball by Horn, but the pass goes incomplete. Chris Wall on now to punt it away. And Bacon stands deep at the 48-yard line for Camden County. We may see the pressure here, Jill, as Wall gets set for the punt. They fake it. They go up top with the pass. Catch made. And they fumble it at the 28-yard line. We'll see if they rule it a catch or the fumble. And they're going to give it to the Wildcats.
Well, they would have got the first down anyway. They stopped him before he got the first down, which is a great play on the Camden County defense. They would look like they were beat for the trick play, but the guy was tackled just short of the first down, and he ends up fumbling the ball anyway.
Catch was made by Fernando Phillips. Pass was thrown by Perry Hollis. But Phillips, after the grab, fumbled the football, so the Wildcats will get it back. Take a look at the replay. They went up top. Phillips had it, and he coughed it up. It was covered by Ben Greer for the Wildcats, and the Wildcats with a golden opportunity staring them in the face. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of the Cougars. Phillips on your screen, coming off the field limping after catching the pass and fumbling.
They can't afford to lose him. He's one of their big guys there on defense, one of their impact players, one of the smartest defensive players out there. Certainly a lot of colleges are looking at him right now, but they can't afford to lose him at this particular time.
So Coach Herring and the Cougars took a big gamble there, knowing that the Wildcats were going to be coming on that 4th down play to try to block it, to take advantage of it. And this time it backfires on the Cougars, and the Cougars forced to take a timeout here. It's Coach Herring at the sideline, trying to exhort his team on. And you can mark your calendar for Friday night, January 30th, for the return of Georgia's longest-running high school sports and academics program, Prep Sports Plus. You'll meet some of Georgia's most successful student-athletes, athletic programs, and much more. That's Prep Sports Plus, returning on Friday, January 30th at 11 p.m., exclusively on GPTV. Timeout taken by the Cougars. In the earlier ball game from the semifinals of the A division, it was Lincoln County in the white and Tryon in the blue. Under 2 minutes left in the game. Lincoln trailed 24-22. Travis Clark hit Stephen Brown for the winning touchdown. 28-24. Lincoln County wins, and they advance to the finals. Good ball game from earlier today on GPTV.
And we got a good one here too.
1st and 10 for Bacon. Misdirection, they give it to Maxwell on the inside. Maxwell to the 25, pushing ahead near the 24.
Offensive line, I cannot emphasize enough that these guys are going to have to stay on the blocks. They had a good, nice run with Maxwell to score the touchdown, but when you're going up in that middle, you've got to stay on your blocks. A couple of guys want to run downfield and say, "Hey, Mom, look at me. You know, I'm getting off the line of scrimmage. I'm 10 yards downfield." Well, your running back needs you. Stay back there and help him out.
2nd and 6 on the ground. They go left side. It's Campbell with the football. Campbell pulled down near the 23. Good defensive stop by the Cougars up front.
Defensive hustle. Noonan has shown that this entire game. They're getting off blocks. They get burned on one play, but I tell you what, they are getting off of the blocks. They are swarming to the ball. They're making things happen defensively. And that's what they're going to continue. They're going to have to continue to do to stop this wing T offense that is very potent, responsible for scoring 400 some odd points during the season.
We are all tied at 10 apiece. 3rd down, 5 for Camden County. On the ground, they go Maxwell right side. And it runs into 1, 2, 3, 4 Cougars on the play. Magruder and Hollis leading the charge for Noonan County.
Coach Herring's going to have to sit these guys down on the sideline, the offensive line, when they come off. As you watch this play here, you got the tackle pulling. All right, he's there. But look after that. There's 1, 2, there's 3, 4 guys there, and the rest of the linemen are downfield. You know, I'm not trying to criticize them. I know that they're hustling, but they've got to stay in and maintain the blocks. That's what they're going to have to do. And the coaches over there on Camden County are going to have to sit these guys down when that happens, when it comes to the sideline.
4th down and 5 now, Gerald. And the Wildcats appear to be going for it. Bacon under center. Fakes it in the line here. Roll it left side. Here comes the pressure. Raises, fires, throws it in the end zone. Got a man there. Touchdown Wildcats. Grabbed by Kevin Patterson. Back of the end zone. Bacon found him. A flag coming in after the play. Wildcats extend or take their first lead of the ball game.
Well, I tell you what, they must have seen something here a couple of plays ago, because that was set up very, very nicely in the way that they got it. The flag is going to be, of course, he points in his stands and all that sort of stuff. You just got to score. Nowadays, you got to get back over there. You can't celebrate. But they set that up nicely. The receiver gets down there, gets wide open in the end zone. They flooded. It was called like a flood pattern to the left side where they get the receivers over there, but then there's one guy in the middle that gets open for the touchdown.
Assessment going against the Cougars as you take a look at it on the replay. Bacon was rolling left, back of the end zone was Patterson, has gotten from behind the
Personal
coverage.
foul, face mask on the defense. The touchdown is good. We will go half the distance on the try.
So Patterson with the catch.
And one thing was pointed out in there too, how Fernando Phillips was back in the game. Not very, I guess they said it was a cramp that he was having. Well, if he's having those cramps like that, it's going to probably affect his play, which it did on that play. He was limping in the back of the end zone, couldn't get over to make the play, and as a result, Camden County gets a touchdown.
Sometimes your desire to want to stay out there can be a detriment to your team if you're not able to execute your assignment.
You see it all the time.
Pages will try the point after. The assessment going against the Cougars, that puts the Wildcats just a bit closer to try the point after. Take a look at some of the Wildcat faithfuls. And here comes Camden County to set for the point after. Bacon does the holding. Pages to try the point after and get it down, and the kick. Pages drives it through. And Camden County with their first lead of the night over Noonan, 17-10. 5 minutes, 18 seconds left in the third quarter. You were talking about it, Gerald, as we got into the third quarter, the importance of how Camden County came out on their first drive. As you take a look at the scoring drive for the Wildcats, 3 plays, 29 yards, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Patterson on the 23-yard reception pass from Emmanuel Bacon. But it's always critical how that third quarter starts in terms of who gets that early momentum in the second half. And right now, surely the Wildcats have it.
And certainly for Camden County, it was good that they started out on the offensive side, because offense is where they've been hurting themselves. They weren't getting a whole lot of things done, but they came out, they settled down, they made some things happen. And then, of course, with Noonan giving them the big penalty, the big 15-yard face mask penalty, which got them even closer, it kind of made that field shorter for them. They capitalized on it. They made something happen. As a result of that, now you're starting to see that momentum change again. Now, Noonan is going to have to step up to the challenge and see if they're going to try to break that, because right now Camden County is into the game. Their fans are into the game. They're going to have to really do something here to turn these things around.
Page is with the kick. Stiegel fields at the 5. Right side he goes. Now changes direction, looking for a hole, but he goes down instead near the 17. They say he fumbled it. We'll see if the officials agree.
That one was dead. I felt that was down. He'd already just pretty much dove to the ground. Of course, as you know, the ground can't cause the fumble. So, as you can see here, it takes the kickoff, changes direction. You're in trouble when you start doing that.
Stiegel trying to make some. Well,
replay.
Thank goodness we don't have it at the high school.
Playoff time football. All right. Don't even mention the instant replay. I don't even want to see it. I can't stand it in the NFL right now. We don't even think about it in high school.
Horn goes under center, dumps it out in the flats to King. King draws a crowd, and they lose about 3 or 4 on the play. House leading the charge. So did Booth for the Wildcats. They stopped King behind the line of scrimmage.
As I indicated, that those last 2 drives for Camden County has got now he's getting these guys all hyped up. They're fired up. They're ready to get after these guys now. And you forget about how tired you are. You really want to start. You start getting that momentum going. That emotion is starting to pick up again. You're getting fired up.
2nd and 14 for the Cougars. Straight drop by Horn. Fires upfield through a bullet near the 26-yard line. Catch made by Darryl Stiegel. Close to the first down marker, as Horn just reared back there and threw a dart.
Well, you can see the 1-2 punch here. These 2 guys here apparently are on the same page as his favorite receiver, and he has been going to him quite often, trying to make some things happen. And as long as they can continue to hook up, boy, believe me, that's going to help them out, and offensively.
Under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Horn going to go under center. 3rd down and 1 for the Cougars. Right side they go. With the carry is Arnold. Arnold looks to have the Cougar first down. Indeed, it will be enough. Sophomore running back picks up the Cougar first.
Yeah, I talked about pretty much the first half, and I really was impressed with the way Noonan had been coming off of the ball defensively and getting off of blocks. Well, now you're starting to see that with Camden County. Not that they haven't been doing it, but I think they're doing it more now, which is making it a little bit more difficult for Noonan to move the ball.
1st and 10. Shotgun for Horn. Horn, straight drop, looking to his left. Fires across the middle. This one going incomplete. Intended downfield for Gavin Stanley. Or correction, Davis Mann. Pass underthrown this time by Horn.
Seemed like he kind of rushed himself on that, but I think that's been a result of the Camden County defense getting in so often on him. He kind of rushed himself getting in the back. He had plenty of time. He dropped back and decided to fire that ball when he really probably had a little bit more time to probably gather himself to before he got it off.
So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Line of scrimmage still the 29. The Horn across the middle with the pass. Catch going to be made by D'Amico Goodman. Goodman back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Good defensive work by the Wildcat secondary.
Well, I tell you what, Horn's been, when they get a chance to get at him and get after it, they knock him down. As you can see here, he got the ball away, but they're after him. They're trying to make sure that he pays for everything that he gets.
Linebacker Brian House brought the house on Horn that trip. As Goodman makes the catch, but it's 3rd and 9 after the grab. Total yards in this half, Camden County changing things a bit. 109, Noonan just 22. Shotgun for Horn and Noonan. Horn, straight drop, looking, now dumps it out in the flats. Got the big fullback at the right corner, but banged down near the 37 is Arnold after the catch, short of the first down marker.
Short of the first down, I'll tell you what, a good safe play for the most part. Kind of one of those things to build up a little bit of confidence on the offense. As you see here, he goes through his progression, throws the ball, and again, they're they're nipping at his ankles and his knees already. So this quarterback is worried about that rush.
Dumped it off to the safety valve as Brandon Johnson and DJ Jones made the stop at the sideline. So Wall will come on now with 2:48 and clock running to punt it for the Cougars. And Bacon stands deep. They were coming at it, but he got it off. End over end. Bacon called fair catch at the 35 on the line drive. Had an opportunity for a run back there, but Bacon at quarterback thinking perhaps they can get it on the offense. (17-10) Camden County leading it over the Cougars. Tonight's game can also be viewed live on the GPTV internet site at www.gpb.org. Just follow the links to connect to the game. All the games from the Dome this weekend will be archived and available on the GPTV website as well. That's www.gpb.org. Back to live action now on the ground. Left side with the football is Campbell, but Campbell bottled up at the line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats lose a yard.
We talked about these defensive lines on both sides of the ball here now pretty much the whole entire game, but this is what makes a great playoff game. These guys here they're going at it tooth and nail. I mean, they are not giving an inch here, and it all comes down to who does, which may result into a big play, but in between time, between snaps, between series, these guys here, they're really laying it all out there.
2nd down and 11 for Camden County. Bacon under center. Left side once again. Campbell's got some separation into the secondary. Stumbles near midfield. And it'll be a first down pickup for the Wildcats.
And that's one of those big plays that I said that they just may happen. Just one play may turn the whole thing around here. And they almost came up with a big play right there, stumbling at the last second and not being able. It looks like, well, yeah, one of the guys hit him. He almost kept his feet going. Would have had a big run there because there was only one more man to beat.
Fernando Phillips able to get the tackle before the touchdown run. So it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Left side, Maxwell with the football. Fights ahead. Inside of Cougar territory to the 47. That'll be 2nd down.
They've been making it tough for him tonight, I tell you that. He had the big run, but they've been really hitting him quite often. Knocking him, spinning him around, and gang tackling him, but rightly so, he's a hoss.
So Bacon to the sideline to get the play call. 1:14 and clock running in his third. 2nd down and 7 from the 47 of the Cougars. Bacon left side gives it to Campbell once again. Campbell inside the 45 to the 46.
Tough yards down there. They're getting close to another, possibly getting a first down. But I tell you what, they're having to work for everything. It's not coming easy out there. As you see, he's got one lineman. He tries to get behind him, but I think there was a sea of dark jerseys coming about that he had to change direction there.
So many weapons in that wing T offense of the Wildcats right now. It is Joshua Campbell carrying a lot of the load for the Wildcats. 3rd down and 3. On the ground, they give it to Maxwell this trip. Maxwell bangs it at the 40-yard line. Going to be mighty close to that first down marker.
I want to say the right side of the offensive line that time did a very, very nice job of moving the Newnan defense, giving them a little space. Even though it wasn't a whole lot, they did a very, very nice job there with making a crease there for him to get that first down.
They're going to bring on the chains, it looks like, Gerald, to take a measurement here. Football resting right at the 40-yard line. 17 seconds remain in the third quarter. The officials want to pull the chains out to take a look here. No question about the momentum sitting squarely with the Wildcats now. If this marker is any indication, they'll keep that momentum if they pick up this first down. They'll stretch it.
Not quite.
Just missed it.
Well.
So it'll be 4th down and less than 1 for that man, Coach Jeff Herron and his Wildcats. No question about it. He's sitting in his quarterback, and they're going to go for it on 4th.
Coach remembers last year. I guarantee you that. He doesn't want to be in that situation again. He's a riverboat gambler, boy. He's going to take his opportunity. He's going to go for this one.
Baker will keep it right side. No question about it. He got the first.
There's no tomorrow here. You know, you've got to go for it when you have the opportunity to do so. If you feel like you have that momentum on your side, you don't sit back on your heels and second guess yourself. Hey, you think that your team is want to go after it? Go after it.
And the Wildcats do, and we come to the end of the third quarter. The Wildcats of Camden County leading at 17-10 over the Cougars of Newnan. We'll step aside for a timeout. We'll bring you the 4th and final quarter from the Georgia Dome. Into the fourth quarter we go with the Wildcats of Camden County leading the Cougars of Newnan 17-10. Charles Ward, Gerald Riggs, and John Nelson at sideline. As we get set for the third, let's go down to John Nelly. Nelly.
Here's a question for Gerald by the time this is over with. First off, let's talk about mounting injuries and what this turf is doing to them. There have been 4 players so far, 3 very recently, that have had their ankles retaped because of playing on this surface. There hasn't been any work done by the Newnan team on this surface, and they're kind of comparing it to playing on a very tightly strung together beanbag. Now back to my question for Gerald when it comes to treating these injuries and going from one extreme to another. Fernando Phillips, number 19 for Newnan, was the one beaten on the pass pattern because of the cramps he's feeling in both of his calves. What kind of a transition is it practicing in 45-degree weather all week long and then playing in this climate-controlled environment? What adjustments do you have to make?
Well, that's a good question, Ellie, because you know what?
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing coming into this dome. You're surprised how warm it is once you get in here to start to play. You know, people think that the climate's going to be a little bit more pleasant to play in, but it actually takes more out of you fluid-wise than staying outside. So the guys on the sideline need to make sure they continue to hydrate up with water or whatever they have down there so they won't catch cramps. It's a common thing to be inside of a dome and have a lot of players catch cramps.
Maxwell on the carry for the Wildcats. Pickup of 2.
And another thing to that in terms of the field. You know, he's right about this field. It's a different surface. These players are not used to playing on it. It's softer. It's not like the traditional artificial turf.
Absolutely.
They've got that tire rubber stuff that's all cut up and shredded up and put into the rubber, the grass, whatever you want to call it, and it's softer. It makes your calves work harder. It makes you work a little harder, so unless you train on it, it's a whole different surface altogether.
2nd and 9 as Maxwell keeps it on the inside up near the 31-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2. Just underway in the 4th.
Camden County wants to make a statement here. This is where they want to say, all right, guys, if we want this game, we're going to have to start right here. This is where we're going to have to kind of bat down and suck it up, and let's get down here and let's get something out of this drive. We don't want to be in a game where we possibly get a touchdown against us and tie this game back up.
3rd and 4 as Bacon rolls left side at the corner. Now here comes the pressure, and they force him out of bounds at the 32-yard line, so that'll bring up a 4th down situation for the Wildcats once again.
I tell you what, he maybe was just in a little bit of a hurry, but number 10 for Camden County, which is Kevin Patterson, was wide open running down the middle. Just with his hand up, quarterback just couldn't see him, and I think that play was designed as they did earlier. Kind of they flooded the left side and had another guy running down the middle that they scored a touchdown on. Well, it was kind of a similar play, and he was wide open in the middle. They just missed it.
Timeout taken by the Wildcats. They want to talk it over. They face a 4th down and 4 early in this 4th quarter. 10:42 remaining. As we have the timeout, opportunity for us to check in with Coach Herring to find out what it is that he likes about coaching.
Well, what I like best about coaching is working with the young men that you have and then your coaching staff. And the biggest thing, you see guys that is really immature, and you get them as sophomores and juniors, seniors, but you see guys grow up, become men. They take on a role of leadership, and they learn to be a good citizen. And we hope that football help bring us on being a good citizen. And you know, just being around a winning program and seeing the community get it and seeing those guys enjoy something that they're going to take with them for 20 years.
Coach Herring, with over 32 years in the business as a head coach, probably seen a lot of good players come and go. He's won 5 state titles in Alabama and Mississippi. And he's also a member of the Alabama High School Hall of Fame.
Is that right? Sure. That's something else. But he is also right. You know, that football is a game that's so close to life. And a lot of players take some things from it.
Big 4th down here, both sides of the football. Wildcats going for it. On the ground, Bacon going to keep it, fakes the options, turns it to the inside, got enough for the 1st down. Bacon down near the 20-yard line. A big play in conversion by quarterback Emmanuel Bacon.
Well, I've been waiting to say this all night long. You call?
Oh, don't even say it. We know where you're going.
He was making bacon and shaking bacon and all that sort of stuff. He looked at, watch this, man. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Not so fast, my friend. Oh, man. Almost fumbles the ball there. I tell you what, when you start doing that, you've got to be careful. And not, get hit from the backside.
So Bacon holds on to the pig skin. First down right side.
We are full of them.
Patterson right side. Got it inside the 20, down near the 17.
Big time play, though. I tell you what, because that right there could have been a turn that they could have stopped Camden County right there and taken the ball away from them. They could have stopped that momentum that they had at that time.
Clock running at 9:53 in this fourth quarter. Camden County with the 7-point lead, trying to add more to it here. They face a 2nd and 5 from the 16 of the Cougars. In motion goes Speed. They give it in the line to Maxwell, right side. Maxwell gang tackled by the Cougars at the 15.
And a good job there by the Newnan defense just to clog it up, not give him anywhere to run. And when you do that, you stop a guy like that, and it's up to everybody else, as you can see in here. That big 77 in there, he's not going anywhere. You're not moving him. That's Ernest Mitchell. I've been watching this guy the whole first half, and he has made plays all up and down the field.
Mitchell's a big one. 6'1", 280 pounds.
That was before breakfast.
As we approach the 9-minute mark now. Bacon under center, Speed in motion. They give it to Speed right side. Speed inside the 15, fights his way down near the 10. That's enough for the Wildcat first down.
His intent there was just to get behind the offensive line and not be fouled. So as his left guard pulled on that play, and that's at Spatcher. He pulled up, the big junior, leads the way for him to make a lane, and he just got behind him. You can't find him. He's a big guy.
Take a look at the replay there on the pull. You see Spatcher
73
in the hole.
and Spatcher. Oh,
nice contact.
Nice contact. That's right. I mean, that's where you have to go in there with a little attitude.
Sure. First and goal to go. Right side. They give it to Maxwell. No, yes they do. Maxwell on the inside, caught at the line of scrimmage. Bacon with the ball fake, but he did give it to Maxwell on the inside.
And those are things that can happen. Sometimes with that wing T, you can have a big play or you can have nothing at all. But you know what? Just when you think that you're going to stop it up and you stop it up, then boom, comes out there. The guy makes a big run and you're chasing someone.
The line of scrimmage was actually the 11-yard line, so the Wildcats can get a first down before touchdown. Right now they face a 2nd down and 9 from the 10-yard line. So Bacon, a wing T set. 5 up front for the Cougars. On the ground, they go left side. It's Patterson with the football. Patterson inside the 10, down near the 6.
It's great to see him get behind the offensive lineman. As you see here again, there's Spatcher out there again, and he runs past him this time. If he would have had a little bit of patience, I think he could have gotten a lot more out of that play, because when you run past your offensive lineman, guess what?
You're exposed.
You don't have anybody to block for you.
Mays on the stop for the Cougars. 3rd down, 6 for the Wildcats. Football on the 7-yard line. Bacon under center. Takes it in the line, rolls it right side in the end zone. Got a man back there. Pass overthrown though. Intended for DJ Jones, who had some separation.
DJ he's gonna hate himself when he sees the film, because you know what? He held up. He looked back at the quarterback and stopped running, thinking that he was going to stop the throwing, but he should have kept running. And just that one step that held him up enabled him to get to the ball.
So
not get to the ball.
Will come on now, Gerald, to try a field goal. We believe if they don't fake it. They'll put it down at the 14. It'll be a 23-yard effort for Pages and the Wildcats. Trying to build on the lead. Snap to Bacon. It's low, but he handles. Pages with the kick. Hit it hard with the foot and drove it through. Page is small, but so powerful with the foot. The sound of the foot hitting that football is an indication of how well he hit it. He hit it strong. And as a result, the Wildcats build on their lead. They lead it now 20-10.
Yeah, well, he hit it with a foot, but I tell you what, his whole body must be a leg, because there's not much else of him to put into the football. But hey, what matters is that it went through the uprights.
Pages, just a sophomore. Saw him make a debut here last year in the semifinals.
Yeah, they let him out to daycare. He still looks like he's. I mean, you look at this team. I tell you what, Camden County, if nothing else, by sheer numbers, they could frighten the heck out of any team. And they've got about 100-some players over there on the sidelines. And with all the people that's over there that they brought here to this game, who's minding the fort? Nelly was talking earlier with the band director, and by the way, way to grill him, Nelly.
You got everything out of him.
You got every bit of information out of him, man. But hey, this crowd here is great on both sides of both teams are well represented here tonight.
6:54 remains in this semifinal ball game. Play drive for the Wildcats, 15. Consumed 48 yards, and look at the time they took off the clock, 7 minutes 42 seconds. That's critical.
That is very critical.
Stiebel stands back deep to receive Pages' kick. They're kicking it away from him. High kick by Pages, bounces at the 18 and out of bounds. So an assessment going against the Wildcats on the kick, but they're intentionally keeping it away from Stiegel.
Well, I would too. He's their home run guy. If he gets his hands on the ball and is able to get it in open field, he can take it all the way. He will take it the distance.
Wildcats come away with 3.
Have a free kick infraction on the kicking team. Ball will place at the 35 by rule, first down.
Wildcats coming away with 3 points on that drive, Gerald, but the 7 minutes and 42 seconds that they took off the clock, probably a lot more critical than the 3 points.
You're right.
Shotgun for Horn and the Cougars now. Horn with the straight drop, looking to his right, fires upfield, pass going to be caught at the 46-yard line. Catch was made by Jonathan Walker, the sophomore.
And Jonathan Walker ran a nice route there. And one thing that you don't find very often with a lot of guys in high school is to catch the ball with their hands. That was a very, very nice catch with his hands. He ran the route, broke down on the route, turned around, exposed himself to the quarterback. And as you can see right here, he didn't let the ball go into his body. He got it with his hands. You don't see that very often. That's a very a very unique thing with high school players these days. Everybody wants to catch the ball with their bodies, jump up in the air and all that.
1st and 10. Horn on the comeback route. Same receiver Walker with the catch. Walker still on his feet now. Inside of Wildcat territory. Angles back to the right side. There he is at the 30. 1 man to beat at the corner. Walker finally chased out of bounds near the 22-yard line by the wrong speed. But Walker getting an excited run to pump up the Cougar crowd here at the Georgia Dome.
And they needed something like that to happen because Camden County was really starting to shut him down on the inside, not letting him get going. But here he is right now, makes a nice catch, a couple of nice moves, cuts back across field to the right side. And he did the right thing to try to make sure that he secured the ball because that's sometimes when you end up having a fumble from a guy coming behind you and swiping that ball away. Smart player.
Horn on the evening. 10 of 24, 178 yards. He's in the pocket again, looking for more. Getting some pressure, now dumps it off to the safety valve. Pass goes incomplete, intended for Sherrod Arnold, the fullback. Well, that'll make it 2nd down and 10. While the Cougars, that is, will need 2 scores in this football game.
At least to tie it up. two touchdowns would win it, but at least 2 scores. A touchdown or a field goal would tie this thing up, and they have time to do it, but they're going to have to score quick. They're going to have to get something on the board pretty soon.
6:07 remains. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars now. At the 22 of the Wildcats. Horn went under center, short drop, fires, missed on the pass route to Jonathan Walker. Tried to get him in the stride near the 15, but threw it behind.
Again, sometimes I think maybe his arm is too good because that time he kind of rushed the pass play and ended up firing the ball low. It was in a good spot for the receiver, but when you have a player going down there sort of almost like to make a slant, he was kind of like a control slant. He wasn't really making a slant, but he was going fast enough to where the quarterback just misjudged his speed.
3rd down and 10 now for Noonan. Shotgun for Horn with the snap. Here comes the pressure by the Wildcats. Horn got a man on the route near the corner of the end zone. Pass batted around and broken up by Emmanuel Bacon. Intended for Gerard Brown at the corner of the end zone, but Bacon was covering and closing fast for the Wildcats.
And a very, very nice play. Again, it's just a matter of timing. As you see here, He was open initially, and one of those play like that is the timing of it is so crucial that you get the ball off when that player makes that break. You can't let him make the break and run 4 or 5 yards into the route because that safety is back there. He's playing center field. You know, you give him that opportunity to cover 2 guys.
It's 4th down and 10. Cougars have no choice but to go for it. Shotgun for Horn. He'll take the snap. Got some time. Fires, pass, batted, and incomplete. The Wildcat defense knocked the pass down that was intended for Stiegel near the 15.
Big stop for Camden County. Big stop right there. These guys think that now they can probably, if they could have held him here like they did, they may have a possibility now kind of running this thing out. But they're going to have to, on their side, they're going to have to be able to move the ball. They cannot sit back on it and think that Newnan is just going to give them some yards to give them some first downs. They've got to move the ball here.
Horn threw it in traffic. DJ Jones knocked it away. So the Wildcat offense comes back on with 5 minutes 50 seconds left in the football game. Cougars with 2 timeouts remaining. Wildcats have 2 themselves. 1st and 10 for Camden County. On the ground now, they give it to the workhorse Maxwell on the inside. Maxwell to the 25. They'll mark him actually up at the 26.
This is what they call gut check time, you know, on both sides of the ball. Newnan right now knows that they need to stop. I guess timeout's not quite crucial yet, but if they get a couple of first downs here in this drive, then certainly they're going to have to start looking to, you know, do some different things, crowd the line of scrimmage or whatever they may do. Then that leaves a lot of things, a lot of possibilities for that wing team.
2nd and 6 on the ground, left side. Stumbling is Speed, Jaron Speed. Got it back to the line of scrimmage.
As you take a look at big number 95 there for Newnan, who's been clogging the middle there all day long too, and that is Robert Magruder. He and Ernest Mitchell have had a whale of a game. They've been clogging up that line the whole night long.
Saw Coach Herron at the sideline pointing to his watch, telling his guys to be mindful about that clock. Run as much of it off as you can before you run that play.
Or maybe he has some reservations somewhere, restaurant or something. I don't know. They want to get to.
Possibly. On the ground, here come the Wildcats. They give it on the carry to Patterson. Patterson near the 30-yard line, but short of the first down marker.
There's that big guy again, too. Ernest Mitchell in on that play.
So that'll make it 4th down and 2. And Coach Herron going to send on the punting unit. 4:09 and the clock running here in the Georgia Dome. Bacon will backpedal to punt it, and Stiegel will backpedal to receive it for the Cougars. Stiegel hasn't quite gotten loose on a punt return yet. They're setting it up for a return on this one. Probably Bacon's best kick of the afternoon as Stiegel squeezes it at the 40-yard line with the fair catch signal.
Yeah,
so the Cougar offense from the 40, Joe.
Yeah, it drives me nuts sometimes when guys kind of haphazardly goes up and, you know, for a fair catch. You know, this is a crucial time in the game. You cannot afford to be that weak link and make something negative happen for your team. So, hey, go up there and catch it with all, you know, go for the ball with the intent of, oh, it's a fair catch? Catch it. Don't just go up there thinking that, hey, a lot of times guys drop their ball.
1st and 10 as Horn takes the drop, going upfield. Got a man downfield, but overthrows it. This one's going to be intercepted. He threw it deep, and it was intercepted by the Wildcat secondary man, Kevin Patterson. Patterson with the interception. Pass intended for Jarrett Brown, so the Wildcats will get it right back.
And the Horn is down on the field. I'll tell you what, he took another shot down there. They have been after him all night long. One of the Camden County players putting a rush on him.
Let's take a look at the replay. Here's the interception there by Patterson on one end of the field. We'll take a look at the hit. And they laid into him once again. This one from in the end zone shot here. It was Ryan Garza, the junior, who put the hit on Horn. And Horn is still down near the 32.
It looked like it may have been a rib shot. You know, sometimes you kind of get exposed out there when you're throwing the ball, and I don't, it wasn't a cheap shot or anything. It was just playing in the framework of the game. And you get exposed like that sometimes, the quarterback, and that's, you try to protect the quarterback as much as you can in the game. The officials do. They wear the protective padding and all that stuff, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen once in a while. Certainly a good play, good clean play, and unfortunate he threw the interception on the play.
So Horn to the Cougar sideline. And the Wildcat offense comes back out. 3:37 remains. Now you're going to start seeing Newnan try to implement some of the timeouts they have left to retain some of the clock. 1st and 10 for Bacon and the Wildcats. On the ground, Maxwell left side. Fights off one would-be tackler up near the 25-yard line.
And you know what? I said earlier how they're going to have to take some chances with some things, possibly. And right there, Maxwell almost, just a step away from coming out of that thing clean. And he certainly would have been on the way because there's nobody else behind him. Because they're bringing everybody up on the line, trying to make some things happen.
Maxwell got 7 on that carry. 2nd down and 3. Clock approaching the 3-minute mark. Wildcats leading it by 10. Bacon on the ground. Left side once again for the Wildcats. It was Maxwell. This time he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
He was stopped at the line of scrimmage that time. I tell you what, that was number 42, Wayne Gay. He came in there with a little bit of attitude there. Also clogging up that hole against a big running back. This guy, Maxwell, from here, he doesn't look to be that big, but I think this guy is about 6'3", almost 6'2" or 6'3" almost, and he's a good-sized back.
Maxwell, solidly built. 3rd down and 1. Maxwell did get 2 on the previous play. Bacon under center. Gives it to Maxwell right side. Maxwell up the gut he goes, and he's got enough for the Wildcat 1st down.
Sure determination right there because they had him stop, and excellent body lean, excellent leg drive, gets the 1st down.
2:09 remaining in the football game. They'll move the chains after the 1st down pickup. Now they'll restart the clock. See a timeout situation. Both teams with 2 remaining. Newnan, surprisingly, has not used one at this point. Now with the 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, they're going to be forced to burn them here.
They have very soon. They're becoming very, very crucial at this point in time with just under 2 minutes left in the game.
Bacon, misdirection he goes. Campbell with the football. Campbell at the line of scrimmage. Big Ernest Mitchell on the stop. The clock continues to run, but now a timeout's taken by Newnan. With the timeout, let's get the thoughts of Coach Herron as to why he likes to coach.
Well, it hadn't changed any. I still like being around kids. It keeps you young, and every day is a new and exciting challenge. And got a great coaching staff that I love being around, and just don't feel like I go to work. I feel like every day is kind of a hobby for me, and I certainly enjoy the atmosphere of the kids and the other coaches and the competition.
Boy, that's well stated. Like a hobby, huh?
It's it's a time of innocence. It's certainly so different than the college athlete or the professional athlete. Here is where it all starts, and a lot of these kids that have coaches who really care and who really go out and try to raise young men. It makes it a very, very enjoyable thing. This is something that this is a fun thing to do when you're around kids who go out here and they compete and they play like they do and want to get something out of it. They want to give something back.
On the ground, here come the Wildcats. They worked it on the inside past the 30 up to the 33-yard line. It's Patterson on the carry.
Well, they're still letting that clock run. I would think that here with a 3rd down, they're going to start burning these timeouts. Can't take them home.
You get the sense they're going to run this 3rd down play before they take the timeout. They come up short on it, and they'll have the timeout to work on the offensive side. That's the only reasoning I can come up with at this point as we approach the minute mark left in the football game.
Way to go, Coach. I like that philosophy.
Just conjecture. 3rd down and 4 on the ground. Bacon's going to keep it. Crunched near the 38-yard line. Phillips with the wallop on Bacon.
Well, it's called.
Bacon makes it up.
You need to learn how to slide once in a while. Man, that's a good shot there.
Herron, Coach Herron sending Bacon back in. Let's listen to this as we take a look at the 5A matchup. Camden County right now with a 20-10 lead over Noonan. They'll either meet Valdosta or Westside if things stay the same. But tomorrow at 9 we'll have Valdosta and Westside to determine the second half of the semifinal equation. And it will be the Wildcats of Camden County as they come to the line. And Bacon takes the snap. He takes the knee to get the clock going. We're down to 20 seconds, and Coach Herron and his coaching staff can celebrate. They come into the Georgia Dome after a disappointing loss in the semifinals last year in overtime to Brookwood. This time they come to Atlanta, and they continue to play football afterwards.
Let's say the last 3 years. You know, even though they came here last year, they had three years of disappointment of getting here to get to that championship game. 3 years of 3 undefeated seasons. They finally do it. They get to the championship game. Congratulations to the coach, to Camden County.
Camden County advances with the 20-10 win over Noonan. And the Wildcats continue that unbeaten season. Came in 13-0. And they will go to 14-0 after the win in the semifinals. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back with post-game festivities from the Georgia Dome. Camden County winners over the Cougars of Noonan 20-10. They advance to the finals next weekend. Our John Nelson standing by with Coach Jeff Herron. John.
Thank you, Chaz. Here with Coach Herron. Those 2s and 3s and 4s we were talking about in the yardage in the first half turned into 5, 6, 7, and more in the second.
Well, the kids played very well in the second half, and they get all the credit. There's no question. The coaches made some good adjustments at halftime. The assistants did. And, you know, we felt like we had not played well in the first half, and I was a little worried about that, but the kids responded well.
Let's talk about the running game with Emmanuel and Josh's tonight. Multiple Joshes, multiple speeds in Emmanuel.
Well, those kids have played well for us all year long, and they're great kids. They got a lot of heart, a lot of character, and I was very pleased the way they played in the second half.
You've done your part. Now you kind of get, how much time do you give yourself to celebrate after tonight? Any?
We'll start watching Westside and Valdosta film on the bus home.
All right, Jeff Herron, congratulations. Thanks a lot. He's going to the finals next week. We just don't know who his opponent is going to be. Charles Jeb, let's send it home.
Thank you, Nelly. Final once again. Wildcats win it 20-10 over the Cougars of Noonan. They advance to the finals. Charles Ward from the Georgia Dome, on behalf of color analyst Gerald Riggs and sideline reporter John Nelson, saying thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow with a full schedule of semifinal action from the Georgia Dome.
This broadcast of the 2003 GHSA football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.